What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the hot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, but my buds call me Bam, even when I ask them to stop. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys so much for being here with us tonight. I am so freaking pumped. Belated shout out to, we only have 2 weed holidays. We have 420 and 710. And 710 was a couple days ago, so we didn't get our chance to oil with you guys. So this little pinhead here, happy oil day. For those of you that aren't familiar with this particular holiday, if you take 710, the numbers, and you flip them upside down, it spells out the word oil. And so 710 has become a secondary weed holiday, because we only get 2 days, 364 days, only 2 of them are weed holidays, which, is news to me because I'm celebrating almost every day. You see what I did there? All right, dudes. Holy crap, we've been having us a blast. Obviously, last week was great. I did want to apologize real quick right here at the top. I said I was going to take the picture of Drew's pipe because we're doing another naming contest for it and put it all over the socials, and then that didn't happen. We partied a little hard for Drew's birthday, and we were busy. I got called into work a bunch. It's just one of those things. So we're just going to drop it here after today and then keep that rolling for another week. So Drew will be sharing his piece with us probably near the end. And we'll be posting pictures of it on the socials. If you have a cool name for that piece, like, just for example, this piece here is Naro Sume Lai. Named by our good friend, good bud, Rondanjaro. I also have the Green Hornet, named by Dark Apocalypse. And seriously, at this point, we have quite a few named pieces from the buds community. So it's a fun way for us to, have you guys come up with some cool piece names. We have the THC Serpent for Munch Party here in the Discord. Another great opportunity. If you're not in the WeeDnD Discord, what are you doing, man? Get over there. Check it out. We've got links here. If you're on Twitch, they've got us below. We've got our little things that'll probably pop up in the chat as well. If you are on YouTube, if you go into the doobly-doo, the info for this specific sesh, it's got links to all of our different socials. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. We are trying to, it seems like the Discord community fits the vibe of kind of the way we like to interact with people. It tends to be a nice place to kind of unwind after a long day. And so I am kind of putting a little extra focus on the Discord because I think that's the place where you get the best bud experience. So if you have any buds, if you dig the show and you want them to come check out the community, kind of hang out or whatever, that is the spot, in my opinion, to do it. So check us out. WeeDnD Hub on Discord. Again, links here on Twitch or links below on YouTube. So, guys, I got to say, this week it's been long. I had to work a bunch. I was supposed to have a couple days off, and I ended up not having them off. And so, at the end of a week like this, all I want to do is play D&D. So, let's freaking do that. But in order to do that, I got to pass this joint here through the magic fibers of the interwebs to my dear and wonderful friend, Brenna Folger. Hey, Brenna. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing great. I've got my concentrates. It's a dabby holiday. So it was just an incredible holiday weekend. So I just made sure I wanted to celebrate it with this little camp boy. I love him. Love him so much. And I love you guys. I love the buds. I'm Beretta Folger. You guys also know me as a Pickle Zombie. And my favorite field day activity was the one where you'd get the big car sponge, and you'd fill it with water, from those gallon buckets. And you'd have to bring it to down the way into another clear bucket that had a line on it, but you'd carry it either I think they saw one with elbows, but I like the knees. That was always pretty funny. You always had to carry it between your knees and get across, squeeze it out, and then fill up the bucket. Abby, what was your favorite field day activity?
I thought you'd never ask. Thank you. Thank you so much. The potato sack race. Obviously, I've always been tall. I've always been the tallest and, the strongest in my classes, And, I was just dragging all those shorties with me. They thought they were helping, but it was really just my 9-year-old quads dragging us across the field. Very strong. I'm strong. That's the point I'm trying to get across.
Don't fuck with Abby. She'll fuck you up.
Anyway, I'm really excited about this dab holiday also. They don't call me Dabby Andy for nothing. They don't call me that, but like I'm trying to get that to like catch on. So like tell everybody. Anyways,
spread the word.
Yeah. So like tell everybody.
Spread it.
Join the Discord. Spread the word. Dabby Andy. You could call me that, or you could call me Abby Dandy. But you might also know me as Amaryllis VonCheux, the level 3 tiefling sorceress. And you know, I'm ready to get into D&D. But I'm also curious to hear about you, Drewby. What about your favorite field day activity?
Oh man, thank you, baby. What up, y'all? Drew, Molly, Digbag, Digby, Molebag. What is my name? Digbag Moleeggington III. That's my name. Level 3, artillerist artificer up in this piece. Not doing so hot against my childhood nemesis and rival, but my favorite field day activity was sitting on the bus to get back to school, to the thing that I was good at, while all the other people played with their friends.
Drew is Digby. He was like,
No, I am not. The three-legged race was always fun for me because I didn't need a partner. So Jake, what was yours?
Oh, only you can make the pass happen with that third leg of yours. Thank you. I'm gonna.
It's true. It's all true.
All true. Nothing but the truth. But thank you, and thank you, buds, for being here. Jake Taylor as Gary Greenheart, level 3 paladin at the stout halfling variety. My favorite field day activity would have to be joining the Weed&d Discord. That was definitely like, you know,
good times,
right?
Yeah, man.
But Discord wasn't around back then, so I'm gonna have to say those little squares with the wheels, and you just put your little belly on it and just scoot all over the place like a little elementary school maniac. Mm-hmm. That one, that's the stuff. But yeah, fucking stoked to play and kick some badger ass, but we can't do it without this handsome fella up here. What's up, guys?
Oh shit! Thank you very much, Jake. That's right. I am Gus Two Blunts Langley, and I will be playing Dickens Tangle Face, no relation, the Clownkin cleric. Man, I loved field day. I was always one of the biggest kids in my class, and I fucking yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Like tug of war, I was like, oh, these guys. But I think for me, it's we did shot put as part of our field day. And I was so good at it that one of the coaches came up to me and was like, hey, you should do this. And like by the time I was a freshman in high school, I was the 4th ranked shot put thrower in the state. So I was really good at shot put. So that's the one I'll go with.
Humble brag over here.
Dude, yeah, I mean, you know, it's true. I'm not good at it.
I've seen you compete in the Scottish games, bro. You're a tank, man.
Oh, thanks, man. They're like, how come we never see you at practice? And I'm like, I don't train.
Getting high.
Right. What? Okay, that's enough about me. Let's talk about you. Bam, you're up.
Made it back. Yet again, it always has. We haven't lost a single one of these joints to the fibers of the interweb yet, and I don't plan to start soon because I'd be terrified if when we did that I reached and nothing was there. I'd freak out. Field day though, oh man, my favorite field day. So I'll admit, full admittance, Brenna probably picked the one that sticks out the most in my head. We did do it with elbows. You had to dip it with the elbows and hold the sponge and then squeeze it out. But there's another one that we only did a couple times. It was usually part of like when the school turned into a carnival night, whatever that was about. But we did do it at field day, so it counts. They would take a kickball and they would cut 3 holes in it. and then they would stuff the kickball with like grocery bags, and then it was bowling. They would set up 10 pins, and you would bowl this like cut out kickball that was just stuffed with garbage bags, and you would roll it and knock down 10 pins. And so I, again, like many of us, I was definitely one of the larger people in my school. And I started bowling earlier in my life, so I was like pretty good at bowling. So it was just the one that I would go do because I would always win whatever the prize was. And so it does stick out. That was probably my go-to. I also remember, the reason I haven't said the other one, I remember we had like the big giant pinwheel multicolored like tarp thing, and we would do like a wavy thing with it, but I can't remember like what the point or scoring system was for it. So I was like, well, don't say that because you don't know anything about it. And then I did just now I did the thing that I was telling myself in my mind not to do.
The point was that you got to do it because that parachute thing was like the tits.
Dude, they pulled that thing out and it was like, I will do whatever you ask me to right now. Yes. Yeah. It was incredible.
Hey, did anyone else's school have the rumor that like we couldn't do tug of war anymore, and some kids started the rumor that it was because someone else's arms got torn off?
Yep.
Okay. It was like that. I figured it was like it became an insurance problem like around the same time, but they like some kid was like, no, it's because Jacob's arms got ripped off last year. Remember?
It's because me and Bam pulled that kid's arms off.
That's it, and we won. Gus had just gotten done shot putting. I picked up a 7-10 split on my little kickball bowling ball. And you all looked at me like I was crazy. Did you guys not have the carved out kickball stuffed with shopping bags bowling?
Nah, that wasn't school, man. That was...
And I had so many friends. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're all... Well, I did just real quick briefly say last week I got to introduce one of my favorite NPCs that I've ever built. I did a huge shout out to Sean Gilchrist for the artwork on Tank Badgerly and helping me kind of construct what kind of NPC he was going to be. I love that character, and to me, finally getting to make the Badger song joke in the context of a D&D game, I have to say, as somebody who's played D&D for 28 years now, it might have been the highlight of my entire D&D career.
How long have you had like that in your back pocket? Like, how long have you been?
I've thought about the idea of using the song as a structure for an encounter, probably maybe even since I heard it, like early internet. Like I played D&D before the internet was a thing. So it was like, I mean, not really, I guess but like where we were all using it, it existed, but it wasn't, it was like,
it was me, Al Gore.
Yo, Al Gore really did. That's like he really did have was instrumental in the development of the early internet. It's not just some weird. I always thought he was just full of shit. Like I guess the rest of the country because we didn't vote for him. Legit. Like fucking, he was like on the team of like investors and the creative design team. So Al Gore actually was responsible for I believe it was like the www version, like the World Wide Web version of the internet. But I might be wrong because I honestly don't really know. This is kind of like before when I talked about not talking about the parachute game, and then I immediately brought up the parachute game. So, because I don't have anything more to add other than, hey, that's a thing, Al Gore. So we do have us a little ritual. Anytime we speak about Al Gore around here, maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter, like this electric green number here that matches our Twitch chat emote. Make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Light us up. Let's play some fucking D&D.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
Ooh. God, that intro gets me every time. It's like, we do intro, that's cool, I'm so stoked to see my friends, blah, blah. But man, that intro means it's time for WeeDnD, and it gets me pumped every single time. So, if you will please allow me to set the mood. When last we left the helping committee, they battled the bully Tank Badgerly in the tunnels beneath the city of Humble Patch, with new power coursing through their veins. From hidden pages, Pickles Ennui learned the way of the Long Death and of the existence of other Cuddleforged. Reading from a manual of inventions, Digby Moleeggington III learned the boons of the artillerist trade, and Gary Greenheart swore the oath of the ancients to the divine avatar of his goddess, Tina Smoothhands, the Green Lady of Sativon, and so joined her ranks of the Green Knights. Unlocking the deeper magics of their disciplines, Dickens gained Glorp's further blessing, and Amaryllis gained a new mastery over her growing wild magics. With the fear of the god seed's safety in their minds, they headed toward the service tunnels near the Borough restaurant, where Digby had buried it to protect it. After a wild minecart ride through the twisting tunnels, they crashed and landed near the notorious Tank Badgerly, who thought to claim the egg for his own. They then battled with Tank and his badger, mushroom. And then as the battle grew to a climactic moment, we saw Tank summon a snake. Oh, it's a snake. All right, guys, we jump back in. You all stand in the collapsed service tunnels beneath the Borough restaurant. You know, Digby's Moleeggington family, the most famous restaurant across the kingdom of Sativon. The mysterious god seed currently sits under the feet of Pickles Ennui, not glowing with the bright, emanating white light that you had brought it underground to prevent. It seems strangely cool and dormant right now. It's just sitting there. Pickles, you're on top of it, but its base is set upon like a little nest of sand and twigs that Digby had kind of stuffed it into. Currently around you is the dirt, and there's little clouds of brown dust in the air from the shifting tunnels collapsing from the kind of chaos that the god seed had first exhibited in this place. And you're all kind of standing around as this large 15-foot giant green constrictor snake lands. Digby and Amaryllis farthest away from the fray of battle. You hear this large thing land behind you. You turn around. You see this big giant snake staring you down. You hear Tank laughing in the end. Sorry, suckers, it's snake time. You see he kind of cracks his knuckles and digs the toes of the boots of butt kicking into the dirt a little bit more. His myconid mushroom allies, squaring off. The one in front of you, Dickens, has one eye on you and one eye on Amaryllis, who'd fired a chaos bolt at it from across the room. The remaining badgers, two of them were smashed as Gary rode the minecart in an attempt to kind of get up to where Tank is at. Two of the badgers are just smashed. There's little badger goo on the wall from the collision with the minecart, and but yet still, even with 2 down, 10 badgers remain. However, they are currently subdued by the sleep spell of Dickens Tangleface. Very powerful when it comes to minions, and so yes, they are sleeping soundly, having been put to sleep by the lith of their leader as the magics of Dickens Tangleface took hold. So Gary, you're currently standing up on the ledge. You and Pickles both, this little area where Tank is on the top left, elevated 5 feet, difficult terrain to get up there as far as you have to use 2 squares of movement to get up. But you see Tank Badgerly, the green myconid, and then a couple sleeping badgers on either side. Tank's hand is still out from where the green snake that was in his pouch dissolved into sand. You see some of that green dust just kind of blowing away as he's now used this artifact to summon this snake. But an already difficult battle is now amping up to 11, as you've seen Tank shoot his gun at you, Dickens. Digby, I hate to bring up old shit, but you did manage to roll a 1 with your Schruger, which meant, unfortunately, that it blew up in your hand. Your firearm right now needs some repair. Now, you had realized you had some upgrades that you could do to it now being an artillerist. Your brain is connecting new fibers. So, maybe just a little bit of time without a new gun. But you're already, the numbers are already running in your head. But here we go. You see Tank Badgerly standing up. He's like, sorry, losers. Looks like this day's just not for you. And, he cracks his knuckles real firm. It is the Badgers' turn in initiative. And they're going to continue to be asleep. Good one, Dickens. They have been asleep now. So they still have 7 rounds of sleep ahead. I'm sorry, it's 8 rounds. No, I had actually removed that last week. So they have 8 rounds of sleep left. We've gone through 2 rounds of initiative at this point. They will continue to sleep unless somebody uses an action to wake them up or they take any damage. So currently the Badgers, are all asleep all along. You're thinking about, man, what this fight would have been like with this many numbers. It could have been overwhelming. And yet, the reason you guys brought Dickens Tangleface with you in the first place, he's supposed to be swarthy in a battle. And you've seen him kind of prove it time and time again. And currently his magics are really holding back on like some ferocious badgers that dance in unison. So Amaryllis VonCheux, we shift over to you. You hear this big thud behind you. Now, this distance of safety that you've had, is no longer. Now there's a direct threat sitting behind you, 15 feet long, 4 feet thick. It's just this big giant snake. You can only imagine that Take has summoned it with some kind of magic or whatever that little snake relic was that he had in his hand. It did appear to be alive. It was affected by the sleep spell. So you don't really know what kind of magic this was, but he has summoned a snake. Amaryllis VonCheux, what do you do?
I mean, this is absolute madness. I have an adventurous soul, but this is unlike anything I've ever seen before. I'm freaking out. I'd like to, if I can, scoop up Digby, Scooby-Doo, and Shaggy style, and like kind of like run a little bit back just to like pace ourselves a little bit farther away from the snake.
So if you move out of his threat range, he will get an attack on you. Now, you can take that risk, but you have shield as a reaction spell, so you have ways of getting around it. But I'll allow that. I would say it would be a strength check to actually pick Digby up and get him away from there. But if you are going to move outside of its threat range, you can be in any square around it without that coming to fruition. But the spaces. In fact, let me just check if he has reach. I'm sorry, I just want to be fair. 10 feet. Okay, so in fact, as long as like where you're at right now, you're actually still in his threat range. But you wouldn't be right on top of him. So, but
okay, I'm not gonna move then. I'm not gonna move then, but I do want to like Scooby-Doo pick Digby up.
Give me a strength check.
Okay. If I may be so brazen.
Heck yeah. I love it when my sorcerers make strength checks.
You won potato sack races in real life with your strength. You got this.
Yes.
All right, so you're able to scoop him. You would have reduced movement, so every square you move costs double. So with your 30 feet of movement, you could move 3 squares if you were so inclined to do so. But currently, you just scoop Digby up. You get a hand under each of those big dumps, and he's pretty easily scooped. But he's a little heavy. You're like, you're holding him in your work-appropriate jumpsuit with your little tied-up dress on it, and you've got Digby in your arms. What do you want to do?
Okay, that wasn't my action, was it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, like we said, we have kind of just agreed on adding a skill action to most rounds. And so feel free to use your skills and stuff to paint the picture however you want.
Okay, so I'm holding him, but can I still cast a spell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You would only need 1 free hand. So it's like, you're holding him and then you kind of like shift the dumps into one, like when you're holding like a big sack of bread, and you can just fire from the other hand, no problem. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm used to carrying lots of gems and stuff and shouldering it. Only one trip. But again, I'm in my panic and I don't know what to do, so I cast Magic Missile because that's what I do when I'm panicked, I guess.
So who do you want to cast Magic Missile at? You get 3 bolts. You can aim them at different people, but they all will share the same damage dice.
I'm just gonna hit Snake 3 times.
All right. You see this big snake in front of you. It's like it's just like looking like it's gonna chomp down on you guys. It is massive. You've seen snakes going through tunnels before, but this thing is huge. It is a giant constrictor snake. All right, sweet. So 3 force damage 3 times is 9 damage. It is an auto hit, so you just kind of turn around. What do your magic missiles look like, Amaryllis?
Yeah, well, they're purple and these sharp beams of energy, and they're almost like thumbtack size that I just like out of my hands. I'm terrified.
You see the kind of thumbtack of them sticks into the snake's body and then burns. You hear it hiss. Now in this moment, again, you spend a lot of time in nature. This, although summoned by magic, this appears to be a normal giant constrictor snake. It responds to pain the way you would think, and it does seem to be a wild animal. In this moment, you're like, okay, I wonder how much control over this thing Tank actually has. Because it's not like answering commands, or it doesn't tactically withdraw. It does what a snake would do if it feels pain, and it almost strikes at its own body for a moment. You see it kind of coil up to bite, and then it's like, that's my body, and it thinks better of it. So, but you do blast him for 9 damage. Very nice.
Does the snake seem like sentient beyond like that of an animal?
Not beyond. No, you would assume that this is he has summoned forth a beast, a wild animal of. But yeah, it doesn't appear to have it's not like looking into your eyes like, why did you hit me? You know what I mean? It's just like it's just being a snake.
Okay, snake. Well, I'm starting to steel myself and steady myself, and I'm going to I could prepare my dagger for if the snake strikes me.
Yeah, you're kind of like, you're like
it's the first thing I have.
Yes, you're like holding Digby, like shifting around in your bag, and you pull out, Digby, you kind of feel like this dagger pressing into your side just because you're a big dude, like you're very hourglass. You've got the big dumps at the bottom, so it's like hard to hold you and a weapon at the same time. But Amaryllis, you kind of, you've got Digby in your arms, and you're kind of holding back with your dagger, just waiting as this giant creature looks at you. You see your little sideways eyes. They blink with intense anger as you've now struck him. You do have Digby in your hands. Did you want to try to move away, or were you just going to stay put?
I'm going to stay here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you see, as he coils back, the giant constrictor snake looks down at you. As you see his eyes kind of shifting between you and Digby in front of him. But since you were the one that struck him, he is going to attack you. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a +2 to AC because of the cover from Digby. Like, he's so mad at you, he's trying to bite around the dumps of Digby. And, those dumps definitely give you cover. So, you see, he bites down at you. He bites at you. Here we go. He gets 1. Ooh, this thing hurts, just so you guys know. He's not a fun snake. 16 AC.
Oh god, that hurts.
All right, so you see, he kind of shoots around. Digby, you feel the massive. This thing is strong. You feel its thick reptilian body just snap around super quickly and strike at the leg of Amaryllis. 16 AC hits, and then Amaryllis, you take 11 piercing damage. You feel these 2 giant holes get pierced into your leg. It's almost hard to stand, and you almost drop Digby. You're still kind of holding him up just so that he doesn't fall on you and crush you or anything. But you feel a sharp strike from this giant snake. He did not, however. Again, he's so mad that you hit him that he didn't try to constrict you. He bit at you. Again, kind of showing you what we had talked about. This is a wild animal, not necessarily a tamed beast. And so it instinctively, after you damaged it, just snapped back at you and leaves a big painful bite in your leg. 11
Can I cast Hellish Rebuke?
Check, yeah, you can.
Okay, also, wait, if I take that damage, though, that brings me down to 0.
Oh, are you at 11?
I'm at 10.
Okay. All right, so you see, so in that case, no, you cannot cast Hellish Rebuke because you will be unconscious. So Digby, you feel Amaryllis holding you, and you see this snake strike. Its thick reptilian body shifts you a little bit, and then suddenly you get that feeling in your stomach like you're falling, because you are. Amaryllis's body drops to the ground, and Digby, you land on top of her. As she, unconscious below, falls. And Amaryllis is unconscious. She will be making death saving throws until somebody heals her.
Oh my god.
Remember, Amaryllis, 2 successes, 2 20s. I'm sorry, a 20 counts as 2 successes, a 1 counts as 2 fails. And it's the first to get to 3. So,
Stressful. Deja vu.
Right. So yes, Amaryllis, you feel the cold embrace of unconsciousness as you this snapping pain in your leg, and then everything just as you fall to the ground. That's the snake's turn, and there's still enough of a juicy treat. He's not well, no, he's a beast, so he's not gonna move extremely tactfully, and Digby's a snack still in front of him, so he'll stay where he's at. Gary, you hear the sharp cry of Amaryllis and the little flopping sound of Digby kind of landing on the ground after being dropped. You look back over your shoulder, you're up on the ledge, and you see this snake has just taken a huge chunk out of Amaryllis' leg. The blood now pooling on the ground around her as she fights for her very life. What do you do?
Well, I'm just now getting my bearings, and seeing that absolutely shakes me to my core. With my newfound oath, I'm supposed to shelter the light, preserve the light, and these people are my light. And to watch Amaryllis drop like that, I think I start doing it without realizing, but I'd like to cast Speak with Animals and communicate with the snake.
Okay, dope. Yeah. So you, what's the range on Speak with Animals?
Let me check for you.
I'm pretty sure you can reach it from there, but I just want to make sure.
Just says range self.
Okay, so you now have the ability to speak with animals. Okay, cool. What do you say? You cast this. You can understand beasts. So the badgers, they're asleep, and you'd be able to talk. Even Steve, even dead Steve, would Steve. They can talk to you though. They are limited by their intelligence. So let me look at what his intelligence is. All right, he's a pretty dumb guy. But what do you say to this snake?
Hey, snake. I don't, know much about you. Nice to meet you, Gary Greenheart, helping committee. Anywho, it doesn't seem like this tank guy, and I'm up on the ledge, so I'm gonna gesture to him. He doesn't take any good care of you. He just shakes you around and expects you to come when he wants you to come. That's not cool, man. So why bother with some good people when there's a bunch of sleeping badger snacks right here on the edge of the cliff? Free snacks, buddy. Badger meat.
All right. Dope, Gary. I love this idea. It is going to come down to a skill check. This is going to be a persuasion check. All right. So your charisma class it's not one of your weaker abilities. So, and then basically the DC will be degrees by which this works. Perhaps you just startle him for a little bit, and he's kind of shocked that you can speak snake. Perhaps he listens to your words and maybe considers leaving this battle. And then as well, perhaps maybe he's just needs a second to think and might lose a round in initiative or something like that.
Hey, let's see how persuasive I can be.
15. All right. So you see the snake. Again, it's like its fangs are still dripping with them. It is a constrictor snake, but it has fangs because it does have a bite attack. So there's like blood dripping from the fangs of the snake. You see it coiled up, looking at Digby, preparing to strike or squeeze. And it looks down, and then suddenly you start talking in the snake tongue. You all just hear Gary speaking in snake. Exactly. And the snake kind of turns its head and looks at you. You see its eyes kind of blink confusedly as it looks around, and it considers what you're saying. So Gary, this is going to kind of work as a charm effect in the sense that on its turn, it'll get to make a saving throw to figure out if it's going to do what it would normally do or ponder upon what you have spoke to it. So, I'm trying, I don't want to give it the strength of a full spell, but I do really like this idea, and it is based on the motivations of your character. Right now, you would choose to defend a fallen ally rather than, press forward into the fray of battle. 15 is good enough to have at least affected its this next round at the very least. So, you have succeeded in, now your action was casting the spell. Your skill check would have been the persuasion itself. You still have a bonus action to move if you were so to use them.
I don't think I will. I'm just gonna hunker down, get the shield ready, because I got this Mycodon right in front of me. And it's really tough to stick to your devotions, especially newfound ones, because I just want to hit that badger in the face.
Oh, what's up, suckers? You like my snake? You hear Tank mocking from behind you. Hey, Digby, what happened to your gun? The Thruger is no more. And he pushes someone. All right, so Gary, if that's the end of your turn, Dickens, you are up.
Word. All right. So I'm not really used to getting hurt very bad, and I got fucking shot. Have you guys been shot? Would not recommend.
Digby, you may have once, oops, and shot yourself. Ooh, my bad.
Yeah. So I'm healed up a little bit, but I'm just whoo, and there's smoke coming out of the hole where it was or whatever.
Yeah.
And I see that one of my comrades is down, so I'm like, oh, things are getting serious. And I want to reach into my pants and I want to pull out my shield, which, if I may, is shaped like a little parasol.
Uh-huh.
Like a little clown parasol. So it doesn't look like it would work, but
Yeah.
it does.
Okay, so we have homebrew the donning and doffing items as a bonus action. I just like to bring up when we do home rule stuff, just like our potions. You can give yourself a potion on a bonus action. Donning and doffing shields is also a bonus action. So it would take your bonus action, Dickens, to swap to your other weapon set.
Yeah,
but
I was ready to give up my action, so that's great news.
Yeah.
All right. And then sick. Okay, cool. In that case, I'm having to change my mind about what I was gonna do, and there's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cast Moonbeam.
All right, so
go ahead.
I'm just double. Oh no, go ahead.
I want to cast it on the mushroom right in front of me.
All right, so it's a 5-foot radius pillar that's 40 foot high. I will allow you on this. So you're like summon it. You can feel like the moon, calling to the spell, and there's earth between you and it. The roof of this cavern that you're in is probably only 20 feet. Now you could fill the chamber with that beam, or you could call upon the full might of the spell, which would maybe hit the roof. Now you don't know what that would do. You're not a professor in caveology, but you do know that if you wanted to, you could have it cast through the extent of the roof too, and it would probably damage the roof.
Okay, so here's what happens. I realize that things are serious, so I pull out my little parasol, and I've got my big hammer in one hand and the parasol in the other, and all of a sudden I just think about the moon, and then without even meaning to, I just go and like full out as hard as I can cast Moonbeam on the mushroom in front of me.
All right, you guys all have to like shield your eyes for a moment as this giant pillar of light fills the cavern. Now, just to be clear, Dickens, you did want to also include the roof in your targeting, or did you just want to contain it to the 20 feet of the roof?
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, whole thing. I have no control over this new spell I just learned how to do.
Yeah, you're summoning this new energy. You call to the moon, and you hear back yes from far away. As
I hope
your
you feel that because I'm doing it as hard as I can. The moon remembers.
The moon sounds like a personal problem to me. Yes, the moon and I send a big beam of light your way. All right, so the way this works, also, it is a concentration spell. Dickens, so you have it now in front of you, and you can move this beam on each of your turns. After you can use your action to move it 60 feet in any direction. So when a creature enters the spell's area for the first time or starts its turn there, so in this case it's entering for the first time, it's engulfed in ghostly flames that cause searing pain, and it gets to make a Constitution saving throw. So here is its save. It rolled a 7, so it's going to take full damage. Go ahead and give me damage on that. It's 2d10 radiant damage.
Right. And is that plus my cleric? No, it's not. It's just 2d10.
No, in this case, it's just the 2d10.
Just 2d10.
Ooh, you rolled hot though. 14, nice. Dope. All right, I'm going to give the roof a saving throw.
Stop.
I rolled a crit. I'm taking it. You guys don't see it. It's under the GM screen, but that's a great hit, guys. It counts. I just lie so I can take a hit of a
I
ball.
don't know why, but I trust you.
So you do blow a hole. Remember, you guys kind of skipped the tunnel dungeon that would lead to this fight by doing your little minecart ride. And so you open up a chamber, you blow basically this moonlight hole in the ground of the roof, and you pop this 5-foot cylinder through the roof. And it opens up to the chasm, the big opening that you guys came down the service tunnels, and some sunlight pierces down from the above ground. It illuminates the room a little bit, but where this moonbeam currently is, a little bit of sun is also carried with it. And you watch as the kind of fleshy mushroom skin of this myconid burns away in the sun, this combination of the radiant energy of the moon and the searing light of the sun. You actually completely destroy. You see it just wasted away into dust, and you eviscerate the myconid in front of you.
Whoa.
But remember, this pillar, and it does appear to do some damage to the surrounding area. You still have and can move on your following turns. But for this turn, you use your bonus action to swap into your shield and Warhammer, and then you summon a moonbeam that just eviscerates this Myconid.
Yeah, and I'm shading myself from the sunlight with the shield.
Fantastic. With your parasol shield. All right, Dickens, you got anything else?
Not if I can't move the moonbeam now, then I'm good to go.
Pickles on Wee, you feel a sadness underneath your feet, as if the life force within the egg is saddened to see the pain and suffering of Amaryllis VonCheux. You feel the egg pulse, but you don't have the same connection with the egg that she seems to, where she's able to speak with it outside of the egg. But the egg did not like seeing Amaryllis get dropped to 0 and fall unconscious. You look around, you see Gary, speaking to the snake in snake tongue. You see this light pillar collapse through the roof as Dickens eradicates one of the Myconids. Tank Badgerly near you, as sleeping badgers all around. Pickles on Wee, what do you do?
Okay. Okay. I know I can't understand like the egg, but can the egg understand me?
You guys have spoken to the egg before. There's not really a way for you to know what that would do. There's nothing stopping you from speaking.
Great. Okay. So, I feel the sadness, and I take a moment to connect with the egg just for a second and be like, she was also my friend. We must protect her. If you can help me, give me some help and I will protect your friend. Like kind of like do a hug-a-rooney like I did that first time when we met.
You give it a little hug. All right, give me a persuasion, Pickles.
Oh god. I'm like, okay.
Pickles persuasion.
Pickles persuasion. Classic Pickles persuasion. I don't know how this is gonna go though.
Hey, nice, 19.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what the egg out is not, as far as like Arco can cast some healing magics. It's not like an NPC in battle, but it does connect. It clearly is sad that Amaryllis is in such danger right now. Remember, that snake could just eat her, and there'd be automatic fails of certain death saving throws. So it's like, the snake is kind of currently not looking to try to eat her, but is looking at Gary instead as he kind of to the other one. But you do see the egg, like this little piece of the outside of the egg peels off a little bit, and it looks like a springboard. And that is how the egg answers. You see there's a little springy springboard now that you're standing.
Excellent. Oui. And so I give him a little smooch reading, like, thank, merci. Also, this Tank Badgerly guy is kind of a dick, so I believe that maybe we'll do everything that we can to help you not get taken by him, okay? C'est bon. Okay. And then it just waits a minute, just looking, goes, okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna give a hop, skip, and a jump, and I'm gonna launch my Vlasic little ass back over as close as I can get.
To the snake?
Yes.
All right, give me an acrobatics check. So you see, there's some roots and stuff from some of the trees and everything that's hanging from the roof.
Oh, wait. Oh, I have, okay. Can Pickles suddenly realizes, this is kind of, fruitless and crazy, but now there's a hole. Is this hole to the sky? Can I get out this way?
You could get out that way. It is above, it's this point right in front of Dickens. There's 20 feet up, and then there's a 5-foot hole that punches all the way through. Now, again, the sunlight coming down means that this does. You remember the burrow was kind of this big giant hole in the earth, and so it's like, this is kind of coming out closer to the middle. It's not right on top. You're deeper than 40 feet in the earth, but you could get to outside air or, outside of this room through that hole right now, yes.
Okay. Because everyone's hustling and bustling out there right now, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Cool. I want to go out that way real quick.
All right, so you can. I would say we would get rid of your the distance of the jump is covered by this springy thing. You would then get to the hole and have to use your movement to go up. You would be climbing, so that's an athletics check. But yeah, you could do it.
Okay. Cool. Okay, I'm going for this. I'm gonna do something crazy. Okay.
Heck yeah.
I have an idea. Okay, so it's an athletics check.
Yes. So you bounce off the kind of springboard that the egg has provided you, and you shoot up into the air, grabbing onto one of the roots that's hanging from the roof. And you look up, and like I said, 20 feet up above from this chamber, it looks like one of the other service tunnels. Had you been coming down, there's like another, the second story, so to speak, above you.
Excellent. So, athletics. Sorry, I rolled a 17.
Nice. That's good enough.
So, on my way up, like throughout, because if there's service tunnels and like maybe people, because this light has started a huge thing.
Yeah.
Can I, on my way up, say, everybody, come see what Digby is going to bring to the great festival. He's such a great guy.
You pop.
How great and brave he is. Not the other one, but Digby found this incredible gift. Like fucking trying to get ahead of this shit.
No, I like it. You're kind of standing at the top of the hole, and you look over. You see a bunch of caravans and people gathering. Like I said, it's bustling and everything. The people of the borough have not yet woken up, but perhaps this would help them do so. As you start shouting, you see your voice carries. It's a big. Everybody's bustling, and then at first you see one person like, "What's that? Hey, a little bear over there saying something." And so you see people do start coming your way, Pickles. Again, the frame of battle is it's 6 seconds is a round. So it's like they won't be right on top of you. It'll take them a little time to get here. But they are, your shouting out has gotten people's attention, and they're starting to come toward this hole in the earth where you're standing on top of right now. You still are only 40 feet from the ground, 20 feet from the roof. So if you need to pop back in on, your other turn or whatever, use the rest of your movement, that's something you can do. So, but yes, Pickles, you see, a couple human folk and a couple stout halflings from some nearby carts, full of food, are like, oh, what, the opening ceremony? Yeah, let's check that out. And so they're coming to see what this amazing thing that Digby would be presenting to the as an offering.
Yeah, because it's a Digby's offering, not Tank's naturally. It's a Digby offering, so I'm trying to get ahead of that so that he doesn't get any credit, and I'm trying to also get a bunch of people over to see if this would stop the madness.
That is a great point. You all know Tank, well, at this point, Digby, you know more than anybody, but Tank he offered this irrigation system last year that was brilliant. It was years ahead of its time, and he was awarded with one of the best offerings at the offering ceremony, and as such has had a bit of a celebrity status in the kingdom of Santiago. He is, it would appear, up to his old tricks and seemed to be keeping an eye on you, Digby. And when he watched you go into the borough, had his age. If you guys might remember, there was a couple perception checks that didn't get rolled very well on your way into town, and it all comes back that it's like, he's been keeping, he's up to his old tricks. He wants to steal whatever this thing you've got is, and once again, use it as his own. So Pickles, brilliant play there. I absolutely love it. I am going to move you, just so you know, I'm going to move you over here on the map. It's just because you're 40 feet from the ground in front of him. So, 20 feet of roof, you can kind of hold on, do an athletics check, and hold on to roots. If you fail, you'll fall and take damage. But yeah, you're kind of like up in the air right now, though. Anything else?
No. I was just, utilizing that crazy beam that I'm sure everybody was like, what the hell? And so I'm going to use it.
Oh, you know what? I have to be fair. Does Moonbeam say, when a creature enters the spell area for the first Pickles? Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I should be fair. You would be jumping into a beam of light that looks like it's doing damage to stuff. If you want to not do that, you can, or do you just want to take the con save and see if you can shrug off some damage?
Yeah, that
That was my fault. That was poor.
Okay.
I didn't describe it well enough.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm willing to be flexible and work through things together. I'm gonna just try to brave it.
Give me a con save.
Constitution.
Heck yeah.
Let's see what the fuck.
Man, you're rolling hot, Pickles. Very good. Dickens, roll me 2d10, and then you take half of this.
Okay.
Whoa, you didn't have to roll so hard, Dickens.
Fuck.
Oh, man. So you take 8.
That's fine. That's fine.
You hear, no! From
Yeah.
far away.
Way better than the mushroom guy.
All right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mushroom dude is just eviscerated. All right, so, and you have entered it, so.
When I get into the light, I'm just like,
Down here! Ah! Yeah, you see a couple of the guys are like, hey, that teddy bear's screaming over there.
yeah. I like roll around on the grass for a second, like flopping around like a little teddy bear, and then like get back up.
Hey, you see that teddy bear over there? Looks like he's having a seizure. Dickens, you didn't have to roll almost max damage on your friend. You'll never roll that high against an enemy, I'm telling you. All right.
Yeah, I didn't even know I could do this.
All right, so Pickles, you got anything else? I think that's awesome. You're at the top. You're 20 feet from the roof, 40 feet from the ground. And you feel the searing light of the power of this moonbeam. Again, it's this weird kind of confluence of moon and sunlight kind of beaming around. But you have garnished the attention of the locals and perhaps roused, the Moleeggingtons. So speaking of the Moleeggingtons, Digby, what do you do?
Me?
You see Amaryllis just unconscious next to you.
So many thoughts running through my head right now. It's pure anarchy. It seems I was just being carried by the love of my life, and then she collapsed and then is dying, and now the world is ending, and there's a giant snake, and
you see both the
Badgerly's
girl
winning
you have a crush on and your broken gun just lying next to each other on the ground.
Moonlight, broken gun. What the fuck is happening right now, guys? What's happening? So what I would like to do is hopefully just kind of clue into to Gary's best intentions and see that maybe the snake maybe caught wind of whatever the fuck he was trying to say, I guess, and not attack straight away.
It is currently not looking at you. It is paying attention to Gary. So if you had to guess, you feel like you might be able to back out of its threat range without getting an AOO, but you're not a snake doctor.
I'm not a herpetologist.
Is that what a snake? Is that it? Did you know that? You son of a bitch.
I think
You
that's
goddamn
actually
son of
what
a
it is.
bitch. Why don't
I
you
think
come
that's actually
Dungeon
what it
Master
is.
then, since you know
I tried to say the wrong thing, and I think I actually said the right thing.
I'm proud of you.
Damn it.
All right, so Digbag, you're sitting there, your first invention and the first love of your life, both laying broken on the floor next to you. Your lifelong bully up on a ledge nearby, close to your other friend, the God Seed and its mysterious power separate from you. But you see Arco, still has the force cannon on his shoulders nearby. You are not without strength of your own. And what do you do?
I love that you don't like to put any kind of pressure on me, so that's cool. So with that being said, they're the two things I love most in life. Obviously, I can fix one and I can't fix the other. So I'm going to pick up the Schruger and run like hell. No, I'm kidding. No. That's a piece of junk. I can make something better.
You're already sick of it. You're like, oh, how could I have ever shot that?
Yeah, that was my fault. That was human error. I don't blame the gun for that.
Yeah.
So yes, I would like to try to drag and get out of the snakes threat range without
Alright,
it
so
noticing.
to
So
drag Amaryllis.
sneak and drag Amaryllis.
To
And
drag
myself.
Amaryllis, you would lose it's half your movement. So you could get this far away. It has a 10-foot threat range. So, once you're 10 feet away, you're like, trying to move. But yes, you can move 3 squares in any direction
For her?
with you.
That was
Like
all.
you're dragging. Yeah.
All right, so what am I rolling there, bud? Am I
No,
or
you
am I
can just
moving?
drag an
I can just
ally
do
just
it?
by sacrificing half of your of your strength. Yeah.
Oh my god, you're so kind to me right now. I'm just gonna move over there, and I'm gonna
Sweet.
try and move her over there. Does that work?
Yeah. All right, so you do, at the range, you're like, this is about how far that snake could reach. It doesn't turn and strike at you. It appears that Gary's parlay with this, not very intelligent snake has at the very least served as a distraction to allow you guys to get away. So already kind of proving its usefulness.
Oh yeah. Oh, is that?
That's just your move.
That's just a move.
Yep.
Oh my god, you're so nice. Well, I can't really hit anything or do anything. Can I cast or not cast? Can do what is that? Medicine check or to save Amaryllis'
Yeah,
life?
if you want to make, do you have a? I don't think you have a medicine kit though, do you?
Can I make surgeon's tools with my new?
What's the?
Fucking-
How long does it take? Right tool for the job. How long does that take?
Oh god, it's not in my thing yet. We keep talking about meeting up and doing this. Right tool for the job. Come on, let me find it.
You can magically create an artisan set in an unoccupied space. It creates an hour. So yeah, you could, but you can't do it right now. It would take 600 rounds.
Only 600? Well, sorry, Amaryllis. We had a good thing going for a while, but
Let me just double check.
600 rounds.
Just want to make sure that that's not an old 4E holdout that you need. The chapter using this does medicine. Yes, there's no reason you can't make it. I just want to make sure because I think you might have had to have the medicine kit in 4E. So I'm just checking. It's a wisdom check. When tending to wounds, they make a wisdom check. That's all it says. So, I'm sorry, a wisdom medicine check. If the result of the check is 15 or greater, it equals half of the proficiency bonus. What? That sounds weird. Hold on. I'm just going to look it up in D&D Beyond. If that's what you're going to do, go ahead and roll your medicine check. That way we're just getting
And see,
it out of the way.
that's the thing is I just have such shitty wisdom. It's like I don't know how to do this. I just want to do this if I can. Because that's all I can do right now, really, with my action. So I just 17.
17. So
I
you
did it.
pass. I'm just doing it
Oh
here.
my god!
Oh man, yeah. Don't you have a -2 to your wisdom?
With a -2.
Oh, I love it. All right, so
I passed.
for now, we're just going to go with it, and then I will circle back to that. It doesn't say on this thing that it needs a
I get excited.
So boom. Dude, Digby, rolling a 19 because you have -2 to your wisdom abilities. You succeed in stabilizing Amaryllis VonCheux. You pull out a little piece of cloth from your bag and you wrap up the bleeding wound on her leg. You cinch it tightly, and now Amaryllis, you are not you're just not dying anymore. You're not conscious, but you don't have to make death saves on your turn. So you are no longer bleeding to death. You still are a tasty snack for a giant snake. But currently that's not a problem. Digby, that is your action and your move. Do you want to activate your cannon?
Yes, I do. But Arco has
+5.
correct?
Yeah, it's on Arco. It can move. We're just doing that for flavor. It can move up to 15 feet, and all the stats of the cannon. But yes, you make a ranged spell attack, 1d20 +5, and if you hit, it does 2d10 force damage.
So could it move here from where Arco is?
Right there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You see,
All
Arco's
right,
like, moves forward.
And would it be able to reach this?
Myconid? Yes, it would. There are no threats between you and it. It's a force cannon, so it can easily shoot over Gary to hit the mushroom tip.
Jesus.
14 AC. Oops, I'm no longer on my fight because I was looking up the medicine thing. Give me half a second here. I think that actually hits because I think the Myconids had a 14. Let me check.
14?
Tank. Half a second as this loads up. It's the song that we sing. 12 AC has the Myconid, so that is a hit. 2d10 damage.
Can you dig it?
Roll hot like Dickens did when he was hurting his friend.
Right?
What I tell you guys about this March Pisces? I didn't mean to diss on March Pisces last week, sorry.
No, it's all good. My mom's a March Pisces, so
She's a great woman.
she's a saint. Dorothy Mantooth is a saint.
Dorothy Mantooth is a saint.
So
2d10.
I'm so sorry. What
Please.
am I rolling for
2d10
damage?
force damage.
2d10. There it is. Oh
There
my
you go.
god!
There you go. 5 damage.
Kidding me? Come on, Drew. Just
You see the cannon shoots out this little pulse ball. It scrapes the top of the mushroom tip. The Myconid does not ever emote. You know, there's no emotion to its kind of stoic face. And it just, carves off the top. It is still alive, but it's in pretty bad shape. You see some blood stemming from the bit of the wound that was blown off of its tip. All right, so that brings us to Arco, who is going to go ahead and bonus action. You are within range. D4 plus 1. Amaryllis. Oh, I rolled a 1. Amaryllis, you get 2 hit points. Pew! But you are conscious again. You feel a healing word of Arco. He only has 1 spell slot left, just so you guys know. He uses as the cannon, that's firing at the command of Digby fires off. Your eyes kind of you come to, and just as Digby cinches that leg cinch, the bleeding. You feel the wound stop as you're healed for 2 by Arco. But you're back in the initiative.
for all these shit crits, we gotta smoke, right? And
that wasn't a
Amaryllis
shit crit.
is
It was just a 1
alive.
on a
It's
D4.
a shit crit. We gotta smoke.
I mean, we do have to. Sure, I'll smoke. Yeah.
Gotta. On account of the goo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the rule of Drew.
That's That's written by the great Drews of old. All right, so Gary, this you hear this the snores. You're listening to the loud of the snake as you're trying to hold its focus. It's kind of looking at the green flame, and you're just kind of parlaying with it. Trying to speak to this not very intelligent snake, not really capable of understanding too much, but at the very least you have confused it at this point. And then you hear from behind you like, suck it, nerd! And Tank comes up and he's going to try to kick you off the ledge. He's using to attempt to use the daily power of the boots of butt kicking to push you 10 feet. So this is his attack. Sorry, we'll get to him.
The only cure is the butts of boot kicking.
Ooh, 24 AC, Gary. That's I'm just gonna guess that's a hit because he rolled. I think he rolled 18. So you hear like loser, and then you feel the like of your back as it kind of arcs, and then you feel this magical push pushes you off the ledge. You fly 10 feet. You take 1d6 damage from the falling, which is 2, and then you take from his kick itself. You take 8. You feel the sharp spikes of the boots of butt kicking kick into your spine. The concussive blast that kind of sends you launching off the area in front of the egg. The Myconid standing there is in really bad shape, kind of bleeding on itself. Gary, you land on the ground next to a couple sleeping badgers. The giant snake laying behind you. You see it's still focusing on you. This strange movement, if anything, has just served to keep its focus. It'll still get its saving throw on its turn. It might be able to act as normal, but you are still, this, if anything, this might even be more confusing to this creature in the moment. So yes, you take 2 from the fall, 8 from the kick, and you hear Tank as you're falling in slow motion. Boom! You hit the ground. Tank is then going to use his move to get behind the egg. He's kind of using it as cover. He like looks behind. He's like, suckers! Oh shit! He like hides behind the egg for a moment. But he's no fool. He's not just going to stand, in the open and just get beat on. So he backs up. That is his action. He used his bonus, his cool little bonus thing. And that is the end of his turn. The Badgers lose another round of their sleep. We have 7 rounds left.
It's like there's still like 7 or 8 rounds,
dude.
right?
Yeah, sleep, early levels, bro. Sleep. I mean, perfect spell, Dickens. Like, totally turn the tide of this fight. And so, even Gary right now laying near like the snarled mouths of these badgers, you could tell even though they're pretty easy to dispatch, they are ferocious and, would likely have attacked. And so very happy to see them asleep if you land on the ground nearby them. But Amaryllis, life returns to you. The life-giving magics of this goblin with its healing spell hits you with a bonus action. You see Digby is sitting there like clearly very happy to see that you're awake. But you are awake. The giant snake a mere 15 feet away from you staring at Gary on the ground. Amaryllis VonCheux, what do you do?
I'm overcome with emotion. First of all, it feels great to not be dead. It feels amazing to not be dead. And also to see the face of Digby, this a friend, but possibly more than a friend. I don't know. The feelings are all over the place. So I'm overcome with emotion. I want to wrap my arms around Digby and, thank you so much.
Digby, you get an inspiration point. We've all been there. You get it. You know the one, and you can use that for stuff. Amaryllis, you gifted him an inspiration point.
Yay! The power!
And then you're like, oh yeah, the snake.
And I have some experience with scrapes and cuts, being out in the caves and stuff. So I'd like to try a medicine check or something to see if I can. As
far as healing yourself, the medicine check works to stabilize a dying person, but it doesn't grant you. A healing potion could help you, a healing spell for many of your healers, or temporary hit points, things like that. All those can aid you, but the medicine skill doesn't really serve to give you hit points back. So unfortunately, you're still, and remember, you're prone right now because you fell to the ground. So it's half your move just to stand up. You could run farther away. Just remember, you're going to lose half your move by having to stand up.
Okay. Well, in that case, I want to stay prone and do like a really cool, like over the shoulder. Oh wait, let me check the range on this spell real quick. Sorry.
I already love this. It's like you're hugging Digby, and then it's like, oh, 1 sec.
I was like, oh my god, I already love whatever she's doing.
No, it doesn't work.
Oh god, I'm so 100% on board though.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna use my movement to get. Let me. I'm gonna do the maths real quick.
Yeah. Each square is 5 feet. This one is to scale. So
that means my movement is only 15 feet.
3 squares right now, correct?
Okay. 10, 15, and then if I'm there, I could do. Yeah. Okay. So if I could get up and move 5, 10, 15, and I want to cast blindness deafness on Tank Badgerly.
Nice. So do you want to do blind or deaf? I think it's one or the other. Blind would hurt him more in the sense of like not being able to see.
Yeah, I want to do.
But deafness could be useful as well if you're gonna like blindfold him or something. All right, cool. So blindness. Go ahead and cast it. I think he gets a save.
Okay.
Probably a con, man. Constitution save. Blind or deafened. Choose one you can see. Yeah, you can see him even though he's hiding. He doesn't have full cover. He's just kind of like, being a little pussy behind the egg. Okay, cool. At the end of each of its turns, it gets to make a con save on a successful spell ends. So let's see if he makes his Constitution saving throw. He does have a pretty good con. So this one's up to the dice. He got an 11. Nah, suckers! I can't see! what are you doing, Suckers? I can't see! And you see Tank Badgerly starts, because he's got 2 eye patches on one eye. And he's like, what's going on? And he's like reaching toward his other non-eye patched eye, and he can't see. Amaryllis, you did it. You blinded Tank Badgerly.
It's over, Tank Badgerly. Put down your minions.
Oh, Amaryllis, stop pretending you don't love me.
Ew.
All right, so
I'll
don't.
never go to the Badger prom with you again.
That's right. She went to the Badger prom with me, Digby. The first time.
It was awful.
Let's just be Dungeons and Tank Badger. I just want to always be Tank Badger. I have fun. All right. So
She
yeah,
asked me to
take
Snaky
him, thieves. What was that?
I said she asked me to Snaky Hawkins. So.
You guys are so good. So quick with it. All right, so I can't see. Ah, crap, man. You hear Tank, from trying to like wipe his one eye. He like takes the other eye patch and puts it over it. And he's like, wait, that doesn't make sense. So he pulls it back over to the other eye, and he just sees blind as per the conditions of the spell. He will get a saving throw at the end of each of his turns, but he is currently blind. He cannot see.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna reach down for my dagger again and just like, the badgers around me are sleeping, but I'm still just like, yeah.
Yeah, you've got your back. Again, there's like a ledge behind you, so you feel the cold, touch of the stones as you're just kind of like, oh, I only have 2 hit points. I only have 2 hit points. Or however that translates to like real life speaking, but we know what 2 hit points is. All right, Amaryllis, we shift over to that giant freaking snake. All right, so Gary Greenheart, the snake is looking at you. They're all gonna have Tank's voice now because it's fun for me. He's like, hey, Gary, let me make a wisdom save. And boom. Okay, you see, Gary, this will be the last effect of your parlay with him. You see he's like, and he's looking around, and you see his eyes, you're in tune with nature. This creature is no longer distinguishing friend from foe. It currently is looking at all things in front of it venomously. So you have the message you were trying to get through is like, none of us, we're not against you any more than these guys are. And so, using a cool spell and a cool moment to try a cool thing, currently this snake, now that doesn't bode well, you're all still closest, but Gary, you realize this snake is now going for whatever's closest.
Okay. You got to use your patented reptile training hand. If you put out a hand, any reptile will listen to you.
Chris Pratt.
Both hands,
That's it. If you want to target X+1, you bring the second hand in. So, you're like, wait, snake. Wait, what? All right, so you hear the screaming cry of Tank Badgerly. It's using its turn to kind of be confused, and now this snake is just a wild snake with lots of tasty options in front of it. And it is your turn, Gary Greenheart.
Okay, well, just with that in mind, especially now that I'm on the ground, I want to make eyes with Dickens, Digby, and Amaryllis and tell them to get on top of the hill, because that would put us between the snake, the badgers. So
you hear
just
Arco
let
like,
everybody know.
I'm gonna do that too, though.
What was that?
You didn't mention Arco, so he's like, no, I'm not staying down here.
You too, Arco. Who can forget Arco?
Okay, sure. Right, who can forget? Except us, all the time. That's like I said. There's a point where it's like a goblin just becomes a part of a team. It just happens. It's a thing in D&D. Maybe it's just me, but I've played with a lot of different people, and this is kind of one thing that's connected most of these parties. So yes, Gary, you kind of like make the gesture that it's like, we want to get up, we want to get away from this snake, and let's say that's your little skill. You're saying yes.
Sweet.
So, everybody knows we got to get up there.
And what did you say the movement limitation was to climb the ledge? It takes 5?
So here's 2 things. Unfortunately, you are currently prone because you were kicked off. So it's half your movement just to stand up. And then the movement cost it would be 2 squares to go from one side of the ledge to the upper side of the ledge. So I don't know if you have the move to actually make it up there this turn right now, because you lose half your move when you stand up.
Yeah, because I'm at 25 move speed.
So you can move 10. You could get like here and against the wall, and then next round be prepared. And that would put a badger between you and the snake if that's one of your goals. But you can move 2 squares.
2 squares.
2 squares. Okay. Well, no, you can move 3 if you're not going to that next elevation as well. I'm sorry if that was confusing.
Yeah, no, all good. I kind of want to leave that opening for Dickens and Arco if they're gonna climb on up.
Awesome.
So, let me think about this one. That damn Tank Badgerly.
He's a sucker.
But I want him to know that he didn't kill me, even though he kicked me off. It's just like getting back out of front. It's like, yeah, that badger. I'm like, Digby would have made boots that would have killed me, you loser.
If I could see you, you'd be so screwed right now. Super blind.
Super blind. And now I know that because he said that. I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, no, Amaryllis blinded him.
I'm just gonna, I'll get up, but I'm just gonna kind of hunker down. If I'm in front of the snake and I can at least get my friends out of the way, then I'm just gonna...
So where you're at now, obviously, like you're closer than Digby is, so you kind of are putting yourself into that threat range to give your allies the chance to escape, which is super awesome and very in character, and I love Gary Greenard.
How heavy are those badgers?
Those badgers are pretty light. They're a little badger, probably 5 pounds.
Oh, only 5 pounds?
Yeah, they're not like giant. Tank is big. Tank is like he's a badger born. So he's like, he's like I said, he's 2 inches taller than Digby. No matter how tall Digby gets, he's 2 inches taller than that. Always. Has always been and will always be. So you can find a magic potion that makes you taller. Tank would also grow as if by magic just to be 2 inches taller than Digby. Always. Always
He's
2
that
inches.
guy. He's that guy.
So
Brenna's, you've given me an idea.
What? Oh, what kind of idea? No. What do you mean?
Sometimes maybe you gotta... I'm no herpetologist, but maybe this snake just needs a taste for the good stuff. Can I pick up one of the sleeping badgers and huck him over at the snake?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
All right, so you grab this little badger. Like I said, it's about 5 pounds. Now it has to be shaken awake, so you kind of grab it, but you don't give it a shake yet. You're like, pick it up. It's still asleep, just in your hand, and you're kind of like, how do I? Yeah, you can do what? Oh, would you like to shot put it?
If that's an option. Halfling Field Day, one of my favorite things.
Shot put. You kind of lean back, you do a couple press, but you don't want to wake up the baby yet. And then as you're a stout halfling, so the parallels to a younger Gus are probably pretty similar. And your broad shoulders just launch this little bald badger, and it wakes up just in time to be snatched by this. Again, it has a 10-foot range, so it would get attack of opportunities on things moving through its threat range. It snatches it out of the air and devours the badger. You see, it snaps down on the badger, and you hear Tank like, wait, which one was that? Stewart? Was that Stewart? No, and he's all blind. You see, he's gonna use his lair action. He's like, you guys, you freaking suck so much. I hate you. Ah! And you see his fists start glowing green, and he brings them down, and he smashes this giant hole into the ground beneath him. He watches, he's like, so long, losers! And you watch as Tank Badgerly and the God Feed plummet down this hole beneath him. Now, it's not magic. He didn't teleport away. This is a tunnel now that he has dropped into. But you see, he drops this giant hole, almost the opposite of what Dickens did upward. He did downward. And at the end of your turn, Gary, he drops a little hole beneath him and the Godseed, and they drop out of sight. And that's where we're going to pick it up after intermission, guys. Ooh, what a sucker. They made off with that god seed like a sucker. Ooh, I could do a square for this. Guys, I could do a... Oh my god. Yeah,
square.
he made a big...
Square.
Look at this freaking... I'm gonna make a huge square. I'm gonna just so many squares, dude. Oh my gosh.
Oh, come for the D&D, stay for the squares.
That's right, man. See how each side is the same length? That's the magic of squares. All right, dudes. Holy crap. Thank you so much for hanging with us. I absolutely love this fight and Tank Badgerly and how much you just hate to love freaking Tank. It's just, it's just part of the thing. Sorry, my mouth got so dry there. For my lips started sticking to my teeth. That's one of the side effects of playing this way. So hang with us, guys. We have 10-minute intermission. Tons of amazing art submitted by our amazing artists in this community. If you want to make a little drawing doodad, get it on our intermission, send it our way. Hit us up on the Discord. We've talked about that before. Check out the Twitter, the Facebook, any of those places. Send them our way. Tag us, whatever, at Art Hard Studios. And we would love to have it. It's such a treat to kind of see the thing that created the thing, and then there's something that comes out of that creation, and then seeing those images helps me build the world, and it's just this. I fucking love creation. I love Dungeons and Dragons, and I really have to pee. So hang with us, guys. 10 minutes. Original art by over a dozen artists at this point. Original music by the great Sandy Stein. All of the music you hear in the show is original and created by one brilliant man, Sandy Stein. Thank you so much for all you do. Hang with us, guys. Refill your waters. Don't forget to hydrate. And maybe I went Mountain Dew shirt today, so don't forget, if you got Mountain Dew, the aid of all D&D players, crack open a Mountain Dew. Hang with us, guys. We will be back in 10 minutes to conclude this encounter with Tank freaking Badgerly. Suckers. Freaking suckers.
Suckers.
badger. Mushroom. Oh, what's up, buds? We are back, baby. Hope you all got yourselves refilled on your hydration station. We have been having us quite a battle with the nefarious bully Tank freaking Badgerly, man, who just used one of his boss actions to blow out a hole in the earth beneath him. Don't worry, guys, it's not the get out of jail free card. There are conditions to this power. So, but currently we're having us quite a fight. We're feeding badgers to giant snakes. Amaryllis almost died. Digby blew a hole in the sky, and Pickles jumped into some holy fire to deliver a message to the townfolk who now gather eagerly outside, coming toward this strange declaration from Pickles on Wee. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to jump back in. Yeah! The battlefield raging on, you see the big plume of dust as this, ferocious energy is dispelled as Tank crashes he's still blind, crashes his hands into the ground, blowing out this huge hole beneath him as both the God Seed, its little nest, and him drop below. I know you guys have really a good angle on that over there, so that's all you know currently. There's a big hole, and he has fallen inside. Pickle's still at the top of the hole nearby. Dickens, your moonbeam that carries with it a little bit of sunlight, you're kind of holding in front of you. You still have the ability to move it on your turn if you were so to do. And then the giant constrictor snake, no longer distinguishing friend from foe. Gary kind of was like, get up there, telling you to get away from the snake, that it will eat whatever is closest to it, as it is just kind of a wild creature now. So quite there's one myconid left standing on that upper platform, but all the badgers still remain asleep. Your sleep spell, even as the earth shook and the mighty hole was formed under Tank's feet. Sorry, I almost called him Digby too. Under Tank's feet, they still are not roused from their magical slumber. So that spell is still owning currently this fight. Dickens Tangleface, you see Amaryllis pressed up against the rocks, Gary kind of standing to give you guys a retreat point to get behind, the sleeping badgers on the ground, the giant hole of Tank Badgerly. What do?
All right. I don't know if this will work or not. I don't know how this spell works, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I saw what happened when I did this moon thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I see this big ass snaky snake. And I can move Moonbeam up to 60 feet.
With an action, correct.
With an action?
Yep.
So what I want to try to do is I want to try to carve a hole in the ceiling above the snake so that the ceiling falls in on the snake.
Okay, so let me just do so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60. So you could get almost to draw an upside down question mark from you. You could get all the way down to him and then around him to basically this back side. So even almost as far as the very back corner here. So the kind of right side of him, you might consider that, it's going to make a saving throw to resist collapsing. And that by cutting that much of the hole might be enough. But just so you know, you wouldn't be able to get the full circle around him just with the movement of the spell itself. But you would get it off of Pickles. And you would basically carve the roof. I love the idea. It's super cool. So yes, you can do that. If you want, you can pass it through the square that the snake is on, which would make that square even smaller, which would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay. If instead of going around the snake, if you were to just go on the snake and cut a hole his size, you actually have the movement to do that.
All right, there it is. A little snake-sized hole, if you will.
I freaking love it. So it does get because it is entering the, as the spell is washed over him, he gets to make a Constitution saving throw.
And I'm eyes rolled back, lit up like a carnival ride, while I'm doing this.
Dope. You see the cutting light as rocks just spill out. Pickles, you feel your feet you look down at the ground and you feel it start kind of like a tum rums, just start rumbling beneath your feet, oh. And you guys see this beam of light and sunlight just kind of carving its way through the roof. As it finishes the rectangle above the snake, you hear the snake hiss out. Dickens, go ahead and give me the. It got a 10 on its con save, so it failed. So give me the full 2d10. Just think of it like an ally, and you'll roll real hot. You got a trick roll to me.
My snake buddy.
Nice, 13 damage, very good. He is still hissing along, but you guys did pretty good damage to him. You see the roof above him. As you carve it out, it is going to make this saving throw at disadvantage. So I roll 2d20. And it failed. It got a 9. So you see the roof, just enough destruction, even though the floor above it isn't an exact rectangle. So there's differences in height, but you've done enough damage to the integrity of the roof that this giant pillar of sand collapses on top of the giant snake. The moonbeam's still like burning there. So you see just this confluence of dust, holy light, and sunlight twinkling on specks of sand that spin around. Your eyes kind of glow. You hear the slow carnival music just bop, bop, ba-da-da-da-da, as this just like spinning circle of doom collapses in upon the snake. It is buried, so it'll suffer movement penalties to get out from underneath it. So yes, a bunch of the roof caves in. However, the entire roof of this structure, all these tunnels do not collapse on you. You are wise enough to just kind of cut a hole there. There is also a beam of sunlight there, so if I didn't make that clear. So Pickles, the little tunnel that you were in is no longer full of burning radiant light. But the giant constrictor snake now lies buried underneath a bunch of earth. You hear it just hissing underneath wildly as this mass of dirt just lands upon it. But you've certainly slowed it down quite a bit there, Dickens. Good move, and did a pretty ample damage as well. You got anything else?
Yeah. So that cost my action, and I feel like I have all this like weird electricity flowing through me from doing this or whatever.
Heck yeah.
And it's like a little too much, but it doesn't feel dangerous. So I want to like shoot a bolt of it as a healing word over at Amaryllis.
Dope. So yes, although you could directed Moonbeam, you did not cast Moonbeam this turn. So controlling it with your concentration still allows you to be able to cast your healing word. She is within range. 10, 20, she's exactly 30 feet away. So she's within range. Go ahead and give me I believe it's yeah, there you go. Don't take care of it. D4. Oh, you rolled poorly. 4 HP.
Thank you.
You feel the healing light. I'm curious because you're a Twilight cleric and a Glorp cleric. So what would your healing word look like?
Yeah. I just go, what?
It just floats like a cartoon. Yes, you hear the resonating confusion, which is the birthplace of power for the clerics of Glorp, wash over you. You are healed for 4 damage. Please. Dickens, you still have your move. Did you want to move?
Oh man, this might sound crazy, but I kind of want to go get on top of Snake Mountain.
Just run into your own moonbeam.
Yeah, I'm not going to, but I am compelled to do so. Yeah, I will. I think I have enough movement. I will go get right up next to this last Myconid and just stare it down.
Boom, yeah, the sleeping badgers afford you the ability to step over them with little concern, and you kind of climb up yourself, put yourself on the ledge. You kind of look over the Myconid and you see that hole there with some dust. Now that you're a little closer, you're like, oh man, I still can't see, coming from, down below. So if you had to guess, you'd say roughly 30 feet below. So Dickens, yeah, you see the Myconid, again, it does the mushroom head never turns, but the little stalk of it turns and looks at you. You see both eyes, its stern little carved in mouth and its mushroom body looks up at you, and you see those little like spores on its head start swelling as it looks at you. You got anything else, Dickens?
I just like behind my parasol.
You spin it in front of you, protecting you from the strikes. Granting you +2 AC because shields are dope at 5e. All right, Pickles, you see, this giant cave in. You hear the rumble, and you kind of look to your right. You just see this large circle square get carved out, and it just drops on the floor below. For a second, you feel the rumbling of the ground all around you, but it doesn't just completely collapse. You look down, you see the villagers that you've kind of called are starting to wander over. Again, it's 6-second intervals, so it's like this sound as well, this collapse, this moonbeam, this shouting bear, the searing pain, all this stuff has kind of helped to get more attention as people are starting to come over. You look down the little hole beneath you, like I said, 40 feet to the ground, 20 feet to the roof, as you see this collapse. Pickles on Wee, what do you do?
So I see that there is a new hole in the ground behind me, and I'm very concerned with people coming much closer because I now realize that if I kill them over and they fall in, that is not a good thing. So yeah. I kind of jump over to the nearest people, and I say, one second, just be very careful. There is the ground is not stable over here. I want to give everybody that warning.
All right, so yeah, you see that they heed your caution. They're like, so if you recall, on the burrow, it's that large. There's like a rim around the edge of kind of firm stone. That stone has survived earthquakes and natural phenomena. Times where the river flooded. It's pretty sturdy around the rim. So that they start kind of gathering around the outside, looking down the hole, like what's going on down there, as they all start to gather around.
Yes, so Digby found this incredible stone with us, a group of friends, and we are wanting to show it to everybody before we prepare it for today.
You see, they're like, oh, I got this Digby, yes, and the Moleeggington boy. Surely, who knows what he's up to down there in those tunnels beneath the earth. Hey, come here, hey, Brett, wait, we'll get there. Don't worry, this festival is not till midday. Come, have a look. And you see a couple people are starting to gather. You're getting a bit of an audience around the rim of the burrow.
Cool, excellent. And just remember, this was something that Digby found, and he had a couple of friends helping him, but Digby found it, and make sure.
Tank Badgerly.
The Moleeggington boy, yes, no, a bright lad, yes, no, we've, and you see the opinion of the Moleeggington family is very high, so they're like, they don't find this hard to believe. They're like, I'm surely he's got, I've seen their, it's like he's built little things that will deliver food to you in the restaurant, these little ornithopters and stuff, and so it's like, he's well known for being pretty brilliant, if not a little airheaded, he's like a little. Very low wisdom, very high intelligence, and so it's like they're like, they again, you don't have to fight through popular opinion. They're like, I bet this is something pretty impressive here. The burrow, what a delicious meal. I had the grub treats. They were, they're all talking and gathering around, not putting themselves in any danger. But yes, Pickles, you've successfully drawn a bit of a crowd.
Excellent, and I'm going to go grab it right now. It's really awesome, and it's this red thing. You guys are gonna love it. Come on, it's gonna be incredible. Stay right here. I will go grab it. If you see a big glowing red thing, that's what I'm talking about. In case. Okay, and then he just hops into the hole.
Yeah. So we'll use, like I said, this kind of skill action that we've had was this interaction with them. You do, like I said, you're 20 foot. You have a ton of movement, so you can do all kinds of stuff. It is 20 feet down to the roof where there's roots to hold on to, or you can drop to the ground. Your call.
I drop back down into my hole that doesn't have any moon.
You've learned your lesson.
Yeah, I didn't want to get moons this time. I do love a good mooning, but it was
funny every time.
Too spicy for me. So I go back down my hole, and you said I go in my pickle hole.
All right, so you're going to give me an acrobatics. You're kind of trying to not fall the 40 feet, but you're going, nice, 23. You're like, please. You flick your cigarette, bounce off the walls a couple times, and then hang onto a root, catch your cigarette again. It's not a problem for you at all. So you are on the roof. You have lost 20 of your move, but you're about this position here.
Cool, so now I'm inside, and I can see what the fuck has happened in here, yes?
Yes. And in fact, you're high enough that you can even kind of see down. So it looks like about 30 feet of earth in a 3x3 there was blown out from underneath Tank. There are other tunnels. Digby, if you'll remember, your father, the lowest place in these tunnels was his mushroom patch, where he grows his truffles and things like that, really delicate things that are of great value. And so there are some other tunnels that would still connect. It appears he's fallen from that one into another one. But You see he's still grabbing his eyes. He's coughing dust out from the ground. The Godseed lays unharmed next to him, but he's about 30 feet down.
Excellent. I want to start a creepy crawling my way over to like get over to
Hey,
the top.
with 23 acrobatics, you could totally like Rambo your way across these like roots that are across the earth and stuff. You know, kind of swing off one, jump over, you know, catch another one, and make your way. I would say you could move, just do the 30 feet, so wherever you want to put yourself within 6 squares of movement, but you would still be on the roof. Only a 10-foot drop to get to this raised platform here, as opposed to 20 down to that ground.
Yeah. I'm going this way.
All right, so you look down. You see, you have eyes on Tank. He's laying on the ground. He's like, oh man, that sucks. That sucks so bad. And he's just laying down. But you see, he's like, I still can't see. He failed his save on his turn, and is still blind. So he doesn't really know where he is. But he's just trying to get away. He's like trying to this is one of his moves, to blow a hole in the earth beneath him. And badgers can dig pretty well too. So you would imagine if he could see, he'd be making a run for it. But unfortunately, he's blind and prone currently.
Oh, I see. How's my? Okay, so I can get to like there. I'd love to. No, my tambourine is too far. Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna just start making my way as quietly as I can to climb down the side of it, because he can't see me.
Right.
So I'd love to try to like sneak down the side of the hole.
Okay, cool. So, all right, here's what you can do. You are currently 10 feet above. You know what I mean? Like, so it would be your next turn, but you could Mission Impossible this and just let go and then try to do a cool acrobatics check or whatever to catch onto the wall. Like, I would allow that because that's dope.
All right.
So you're kind of like eyeballing like where would you drop down. You're looking at how to land correctly. But yeah, if you want to kind of just like fall down and then try to catch the wall or whatever, next turn I would say you could do that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I've now perceived everything here. I can do whatever. Can I throw a dart at
You totally can.
Snatch Badger match?
Yeah. Okay.
Just
Yeah,
for fun.
You're above, so you're almost like tossing the dart and letting it just like lawn dart down at him.
Yeah.
That's a hit. 15 AC. 7
Is your
piercing
dart
damage.
still your cigarette? Is it just you flick?
Yeah. It's just me taking my cigarette out and like throwing it at him, like, yeah, like.
What? I hate smokers.
Yeah, I'm not trying to kill him. I'm just trying to, fuck with him because
Yeah.
it's fucked up.
Yeah, for sure. You see like some of the hot ash of the cigarette lands. You think, oh, what is this? What's the trap? And it's like falling over, and he thinks it's gone, and then it's like burning through some clothes. He's like, fucking dang it! But yeah, you cigarette him for 7 damage.
Cool beans. All right, then I'm gonna be up here for a moment until my next turn when I can get real stuffy.
Dope. All right, well, if that's the end of your turn, Pickles, dig back Moleeggington III. You've witnessed this collapse. You've heard the falling of Tank, although you don't really have eyes on him and know. But you do see Pickles like hanging onto the roof, like staring down with those cold, dark button eyes, just staring down. Looks like Pickles has an idea. And so, you think, Tank is still around somewhere. But you see the cave-in on the giant constrictor snake that had eyes on eating you or Amaryllis. The badger's all still asleep on the ground. Digby, what do you do?
So, I don't know. No, I was gonna say, I know I don't have eyes on Tank. He fell down the pit, or the square pit. Is that still a pit?
Yeah, square pit.
It's a bunch of squares?
Yeah,
All right.
it's a squid
Love it.
pit. Look at this
Squid pit.
crap
All
of
right.
squids.
I love it. But just for, I guess, what do you call that? Player knowledge? Outside meta knowledge. Can Brenna see if the cigarette attack affected the egg at all? Like having that warmth near it? Like when the
I would
ashes
say-
went out on Tank's head?
Yeah,
Like
I would
if it
say like if
reacted
it.
to some kind of heat.
I would say
Parentheses,
that
meta
it's
knowledge wise.
because it hit Tank, it didn't hit the egg or land nearby. It hit him. So I would say that there wasn't enough of a reaction to have witnessed.
Your answer speaks volumes. I've got you. Right where I want you. Okay, no, okay. It's fine. I can't do anything. So may I know you said this is rough terrain, so I know I have a 25, so I could move up to there with 20.
So you can get to there, but not up the ledge yet. It would be next turn and you got up the ledge.
So it'd have to be right here still.
Yeah.
Fuck beans.
A lot of shorties. All the short. Pickles is over here with her 50 move, just like a lot of 25s in the party, though.
All right. Well, I guess since I can't do that just yet, I want to get up there and do something. But I'm down here next to someone I fancy. But I have nothing to heal her with. So
isn't
I'm not right by you though. I'm by the. Oh, you've come.
No, yeah, he moved over. So yeah, you guys are both kind of back pressed against the wall. Again, the snake is kind of writhing under this giant pile of sand. If it does move, it's going to have a limited move.
Oh, sorry, I muted. Right. So since I'm right there, I guess, am I able? I'm not very strong, but am I able to throw that badger that's right next to me closer to the pile of all that fell on the snake and just have him wake up and be like, "Yeah, what the fuck?"
So you could throw the badger. I'll be fair. This snake has already used its reaction, so it can't attack of opportunity again. What that would mean is you're throwing a badger that would then wake up because it goes before the snake.
That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point.
I mean, you could just kill a badger if throw the corpse of a badger over there.
That's the easy way out. I could just kill a badger. What I could also do is throw a badger next to something that's trying to kill whatever that could kill whatever,
and eat up
that could also kill that badger, and then it doesn't kill me or any of my best friends.
Totally. You also have eyes on the myconid. You can see the myconid even though you're like below the ledge. So you have lots of options.
Well, I've got eyes on, but I don't really have a ranged attack.
You have magic stone.
Well, I do, but that's my bonus, right? I'm trying to use my action right now.
Well, you would attack with your action. You throw them as an action.
Well, I'm trying to throw the badger to the snake as an action.
Yeah, and if you do,
bonus action is
it'll wake up when you throw it. The snake can't eat it until its turn, and the badger gets a turn before it goes.
I'm sorry, what?
Just tell me what you want to do. It's you wouldn't even have that knowledge. That's too meta. So it's your turn. Your back's up against the wall. You have an action and a bonus action. What do you want to do?
I just want to throw the badger at the snake.
All right, cool. So give me a strength check. Click on the bonus next to the strength stat. Or no, just do an athletics check. That's the same thing. Boom. Yeah, there you go. 7-Eleven. Ooh, freaking frosty now. No, what is that? What's the 7-Eleven? Slurpee. Oh my gosh.
Slurpee.
All right, so you pick up this badger and go to hurl it, and it lands just a little bit in front of Gary, which is still in the strike zone. Remember, it has a 10-foot range, so it's just on the outside of the range of the snake, but it can reach that badger. So you throw it, the badger lands on the ground, and gets, I believe it has to be shaken awake. So it lands there and is still unconscious. You do have your bonus action still. You see Arco over across the room still has the cannon on top of it. What do you want to do with that? Or any of your other moves?
Oh, so with that, then yeah, I'll just use the force cannon thing from Arco to hit the myconid.
Sweet. Yeah, he's in bad shape. You see his little head is bleeding from the last force projectile that blasted off of him. You're pretty sure with a good shot you could maybe end this guy.
Maybe. You said it's a D20 plus 5?
Yeah.
To hit?
Correct. That's a hit. Nice.
That's a hit.
2d10 force damage.
Oh, come on. Here we go.
He has 7 hit points. Oh, 5! All right. He's at 2!
God.
So you see you blast a huge force hole through him. And again, it's like he's like a mushroom. You know, you could like pump a pencil through a mushroom and there would just be a hole in it, but the mushroom's still there. There's literally just a perfect hole that has been blown through him. And, you know, its little face, again, doesn't grimace in pain or anything, but you see it's in real bad shape. That is your move. Action. You got anything else, Digby?
I really don't.
All right, so that badger is like, but it didn't wake up because it didn't use your action to wake it up. As for the conditions of the spell, it doesn't say anything about throwing something that's asleep. Clever. So, you know, Gary, you see the badger at your feet, wrestles for a second, and you're like, and then it goes back to sleep. The Badgers, that's one more round for them. They have 6 more rounds. Amaryllis, VonCheux. You know, your back is pressed against the wall. You feel the warm touch of Digby next to your side as he, you know, gestures towards the cannon and it fires above you guys. You hear the explosion as this Myconid gets a hole punched through him. But Amaryllis, there you stand. What do you do?
Question. Can you, so this is difficult terrain. What does that mean one more time?
So in order to get above, like to climb up, that 1 square costs 2 square of movement. So you have 30, so it would cost you 10 and you would still have 20 more feet of movement if you got up there.
Okay, wait, okay. So, okay, so, first I'm overwhelmed. Near-death experiences. I'm literally backed against the wall by these sleeping badgers. I'm going to look over to Digby, and again, I feel all these emotions. It's been very intense, and I don't know what to say. I just say, Digby, and then I kiss him on the cheek, and then I use all of my move to get up, and then my dash action to jump into the hole after the egg and tank.
Dope. Yeah, you know, you feel that kind of like yearning, that call from the egg, you know, as you fell. Now when you see it fall, there's that same kind of response from within you. And so you just kind of, you know, peck Digby on the cheek and his eyes, you know, go straight and you see a little steam come out of his ears and you jump up, you know, you run by and, you know, you step over this badger basically, jump in the hole. Give me an athletics or acrobatics, either one, to see when you jump in the hole, if you can kind of catch onto the side or if you go the full 30 feet.
Acrobatics? Well, they're both 1, so.
You know, you kind of jump off and you're sliding down. You grab a root and it kind of pulls out. You slide even further. You look down, you see Tank rolling on the ground like, what is that sound? And you slide down. Unfortunately, you do end up taking damage from the fall. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Can I use Tides of Chaos?
Yes. Yes, that's a great, it gives you an extra d20 roll on this, is that correct?
Let me double check. Beep borp.
What's like advantage on one roll?
You gain advantage on 1 attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Dope, and you already rolled, so with that advantage, it's a 20. So that definitely passes Amaryllis. You know, as we, you know, you kind of like, that root starts to fall, and you're like about to fall toward the ground, and you call out in wild magic, and the root regrows to the wall. And you feel yourself firmly planted on the wall. Tank Badgerly's, you know, you're now down that 30 feet, but you didn't suffer any fall damage. This Tides of Chaos, this ability to kind of reconnect the root to the wall has saved you of this fall. You are down there, you used your dash action, but you are now down in that tunnel. Again, it's just, you see this tunnel going off, you see a couple like really nice truffles growing along the edge of this walkway. You know, you're not really familiar with this area of what Diggy's dad does here, but there are like fine cooking ingredients. This is like, you feel the earth is kind of warmer the deeper down this far. And so he kind of uses that humidity to grow these various mushrooms that he uses as delicacies in his restaurant. So, you know, you're in a little service tunnel beneath, but you can tell Tank is still blind. He's like, who's that? I hear you sliding around, you fly dog. He's like looking around, but he can't see anything because he's blind.
Can I use? Oh, I don't think I can because it costs an action. I want to like mess with him. Just can I? I'm gonna pick some of these mushrooms and just throw them at him real quick because he's annoying.
Oh, they smell so delicious. So yeah, you just kind of scoop up a couple truffles and throw them on him. He's like, "What is this? Cigarettes and freaking truffles, man? What is going on?" And he's just kind of squirming around on the ground. You got anything else, Amaryllis?
I think that's all I can do. Yeah.
Sweet. We've kind of come back out of that hole. Gary, you're standing there. You've got your shield out in front of you, and you're just kind of bracing. You see this badger is laying unconscious in front of you, and there's this giant pile of dust just kind of writhing around, and then suddenly you see the mouth of that snake starts flying at you, and you're like, and then just before it comes to you, it tucks down and plucks the badger off the ground, and it just pulls it back into the shifting mound of earth. It's fucking terrifying. You see this anaconda, giant constrictor snake snatches this badger and then pulls it under the mound of earth, and you just hear bone-crushing sounds from within. Gary, what do you do?
Thanks, Digby. I saw that Digby threw that particular badger.
You
Yeah.
did, yes.
I had a feeling that Oh, sorry. I don't have my.
Oh, yo, I think the snake has to take moonbeam damage. My bad. I should have said something sooner.
Yes, on its turn, you're correct. I don't know that it can get. So it will, knowing that it would move, it would use its action to try to get out of that dirt. But it does take damage because it starts its turn there. So it gets. I think it just gets another con save, or for half damage. A 13. Does a 13 pass?
Yes.
All right. So I think it only takes half, right?
All right.
Yes. Half as much on this. Yes. So he does pass. So he takes 7 damage. 7 damage. Sorry, I will never get tired of that, and I will forever say it that way. So I don't know why it's not. Oh, it's because I put that badger on. Boop, there we go. He is. No, just not. He's not quite bleeding yet. But yeah, you see, he has because the moonbeam is there. He's no fool. He's gonna try to move. Now it's all difficult terrain on that square. So he's going to, man, again, it's like there's no defense instinct in him. 1, 2, 3, and he's still in it. So it'll be one more turn of moonbeam damage, Dickens, and you can also move it as well, So that is the moonbeam damage that it takes, and it does move, but it's not able, because of that cave-in, it's not able to get all the way out of the threat range. And now Seth's on the far side of battle. So Gary, yeah, you're kind of posted up. You saw that badger just get munched by this mound of earth. The snake kind of coming out of the backside of it, but still in the barrier of the moonbeam. What do you do?
Well, I'm grateful to be alive. The way you described that, Bam, just that, and then it's there and it's gone. That's terrifying. That's like deep end pool shark scary, where you're just like
deep end pool shark scary.
No, that's a real thing. Don't downplay it like it's not a real fucking thing there, guy.
How dare you?
It's a real thing.
Look,
Deep-end sharks exist.
they can get there. The grid, they come through the little vent in the bottom.
Yeah.
Look, I worked on pools for 8 years, and I cannot confirm or deny that there's not many ways that a shark could get into the deep end of your pool. Are they improbable? Yes. Impossible, however.
See?
Ha.
Yeah.
That's where the saying all
There's
sharks
chance.
lead
And
to
he's a
home.
scientist.
Home is
Yeah.
where the shark is, right?
Yeah. The best part of waking up is sharks in your pool.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're there.
I remember
Waiting.
those commercials.
Waiting. Especially night swimming. Oh my gosh.
Ugh, that's when they go out.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Oh yeah.
okay.
risk your life every time.
Every single time.
That's what they
You're
go
all
in
heroes.
size 3 times.
Yes.
Why would you go swimming in the deep end?
That's just what they want.
I fell into their ploy. I just love swimming so much.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. Again,
Yes.
hate to bring up difficult terrain again, but I think this would work, right? I can go toe to toe with the Myconid.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's where I'm going. Real grateful to be alive after that snake incident. So I'm just gonna pony on up to him.
Nice.
Taking all.
You see he's in a real bad shape. He's got a hole blown through him. There's like a big patch of his head popped off. You see there's some weird spores in his head that are like growing and about to pop again. And you just see him standing in front of you again with that same stern, just lifeless eyes that can move and this hard little face just kind of carved into its mushroom skin.
And actually, let me look at this. Yeah, I'm right over by Dickens.
Yeah.
I'm like, you saved them for me. Thanks.
Oh, ties back to the beginning.
Just keeping it warm for you.
Let's see, 11. Does that hit?
I think they had a 12.
I think you're right.
Yeah, 12 with their natural armor. You see again, they move kind of dexterously. Like, you see one of his big mushroom fists just slaps away Long John Silver.
Oh, what's up?
Dang it.
I'm not a fan of leftovers, and I'll just hunker down with the shield since Dickens is right there ready to.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, here you go. And it is Dickens. It's your turn. You see Gary, strikes at it, trying to give you, an opportunity to strike as well. But he, the glancing blow of the hand knocks it aside. Dickens, what do you do?
I grab Gary and use him to bash the mushroom.
All right, give me your hammer attack.
Boy.
Saved him for me.
I guess I should have. I look into his eyes and see that he's fine with it.
Yeah, if that's what you want to see there, yeah. Do damage. He's got 2. You just have to do 2 damage.
Okay, so I rolled a 20.
Yep, that's a hit.
All right. And then...
Just do it's fine. This is all just flavor of a Warhammer attack. You're just using Gary instead.
All right, so...
Oh!
Do I still get the +1 on that?
Oh, yeah, because you're, is it your strength?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, you rolled a 1. You didn't roll the damage for the Warhammer.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it'd be a 2 then.
It'd be a 2, which is enough. So go ahead and paint this picture for me there, Dickens.
Okay, yeah, so I grab Gary by the soup can and pick him up and just like swing him like whoop, and then you hear like and then we're just splatted like at the end of the live action Mario Brothers movie covered in Koopa goo.
Yeah, it's full of lots of goo, and you just like splat it down like a Koopa Troopa, and it smashes splat. But then this goo just sprays everywhere. Pickles, you're looking down beneath you, and you're like, "I'm glad I'm up here." This disgusting goo all over you and Gary. But Gary, you experience the strange cartoon physics of Dickens' Tangleface for a moment. It is like disorienting to you. Like he picks you up as if you were light as a feather and then attacks with you, and it's like, and for a brief moment, you kind of like experience this strange cartoon physics that Dickens exists within, if only to be the butt of his attacking joke, And so you smash as you're covered in goo, and the Myconid is no more.
Cool. And I am unable to use Moonbeam because I use my action to attack the Myconid. So
it's still there, but it's on him. Yeah, so it's like it's pretty nice.
And I would just like to yell to Arco, just like,
Okay. It's he moves on Digby's turn, so he'll definitely take that to heart.
You come home now.
We don't want you anymore. Oh, I'm gonna cry. All right, so here we go. So yes, that brings us to Pickles on Wheat.
Wee! All right, let's do this shit. I want to land on. I want to crawl down the side. I want a sneaky sneak.
All right, so you kind of see, Amaryllis has gone down this one side, and basically because Tank is blind, he can hear you, but if you want to not make noise, that's kind of this like acrobatics check will be kind of like if you stealthily slide down the back wall or whatever, if that's how you want to play it.
Yeah, because if he just thinks Amaryllis is there, and like, whatever happens between them is one thing, I can like get behind him or get to the egg. That's what I'm thinking.
Totally. Absolutely. Heck yeah.
All right, so I want to do that. I'm going to do that. Here I go. Acrobatics check, yes?
Yup.
Oh. Okay.
Dope.
Oh, I got an 18.
Nice. So the 18, again, he's blinded, and he's currently dealing with his focus on Amaryllis. So you just kind of, let your paw go off this root, and there's a little puff of dust, but that is the only sound you hear for a moment. Just as you allow yourself to fall, you do a complete 360. And then just before you think you were about to fall and hit the ground beneath you, you grab onto a root and it pulls out the exact length that you need to hover down. Your feet, just inches away from the floor. What do you do?
I throw another dart at him and then like roll away from the position of where I threw the dart.
Okay, sweet. You flick him, he's like, hey. And he looks over and he's like, now I know where you are, idiot. Yeah, and he starts blindly wandering his way over toward this other corner here. So you've done so. Give me a stealth now, because it's you're trying to move quietly in this moment.
13.
All right, he does get a perception.
Shit.
And all right, you see he's moving toward where the flick of the cigarette dart. As you're falling through the air, you relight another cigarette just to land and flick it at him. And then he starts kind of coming toward. His goal is to move. That's where he thinks you are. He thinks you're in this little corner here, and you can stealthily roll. Even the tambourine on your back doesn't make any sound as you roll off to the side. Where do you want to kind of put yourself? Perfect on the other side there. Cool.
Yeah, I want to counter his movement.
And then the dart did 8. Do attacks against a blind creature have advantage? I think it's just disadvantage for him. Sorry, I should know this. This is bad. This is bad, Brandon. Yeah, I just want to be fair. Can't see and automatically fails any ability check that requires sight. Okay, so that perception he would have failed anyway. No, because he was trying to hear. That makes sense. Attacks have advantage, which means Pickles.
Ow!
That's a crit.
Whoa.
Someone say, "Oh, Chickles."
Oh man, that got me. It got me good. All right. So Pickles, with your crit, it did roll. Did an additional D4. And so that is 10 damage with that cigarette dart. He is not dead. He is bleeding. You see some blood starts coming out of his little badger nose. He's like, oh, you guys suck so much. How could you attack me in the dark? I would never, ever do that. I wouldn't even think of doing that. I would never do something so low. You see he's kind of reaching. He doesn't know where the egg is. He doesn't really know where he is. And he's just kind of doing this, hoping to get out of this magical blindness soon. You got anything else, Pickles?
I want to get on this egg. Let me get at this egg.
All right, so you've got the move here to kind of get to the egg. You would be kind of Tank is nearby it right now, so if you kind of want to wait to get to where wouldn't have a chance to swing at you. Again, he would have disadvantage on that swing, but he would swing, given whichever way you want to do that.
That's my intention, is that I'm gonna get to this egg, but I'm just waiting for him to wander, get distance from it or whatever. But
perfect. You've baited the trap, so to speak. He is trying to get over to this far corner, in which case you can kind of sneak around the back and grab the god seed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sweet.
And now I wait.
Just quietly, caught another cigarette somehow. Digby, Moleeggington, you stand with your back against, you're one of the few people still left on the bottom floor. You see kind of everybody else scramble up behind you. You see the snake kind of coming out of the back end, but still bathed in a little bit of the moonbeam moonlight. The cave in was enough to kind of keep it on top of him. But you see Amaryllis has kissed you on the cheek and skirted over the ledge, and you see Gary and Dickens have both gone up. You look around, there's still sleeping badgers. Arco is planning to use his move 5, 10, 15, 20. He is basically intending to get here, but he won't be able to climb up yet. But he's going to give himself a nice badger shield until he can get over the ledge. But Digby, what do you do?
Okay. So here's what I've been thinking the entire time that I've been as high as I've been, and it hasn't been my turn. Are team attacks still a thing? And would Jake and Gus be on board to possibly go insies on that with me if team attacks are still a thing?
So,
and it's not really like an attack, it's like a combined effort.
I will say, so I've been doing some more design work on the team attack concept, and it does unlock at tier levels. The first tier level of team attacks is level 5. So with the 5, you guys had already kind of, it was like those powers started manifesting from a power within the group. I do think at earlier levels, the team attack mechanic can get a little game breaky. And so I think around level 5, when you see a real power spike in monsters, it makes sense to introduce it then. So I'm still with you if you want to use like your inspiration point and do something, in the way that we've used the inspiration mechanic. I'm down to play in that realm. But yes, the team attack mechanics of the Ganjaria campaign setting will be kind of as you guys unlock them at level 5 is the first tier. Yeah,
I love it. That gives me hope. That gives me something to work.
It's
work
pretty cool.
towards.
I like
my
what
best friends in team, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love knowing that that's fucking up there. So yes, speaking of that, inspiration points. I just got one. Of course, not wise. Gonna burn the motherfucker right now.
Keep it, yeah. Use it for them. That's what they're for.
And this is my explanation of it. It's because it's not really like an attack. All we're gonna do is between Digby and Gary and Dickens, we're just gonna make like a little scooping yo-yo. Dickens is gonna be the string between Gary being the base, and I'm just gonna scoop up all these badgers as we swing around, and then we're just gonna throw them over into the big sand pile of snake, and no one wants to fucking deal with that.
Okay. I love this.
It's just going to be us on this side of the hill, and then the snake and all the other sleeping badgers on the pile of that other hill that none of us wants to fucking deal with.
Correct.
And then we can just focus on that. You know what I mean?
So totally, you have to bring your inspiration point to do it. The reality is there are 6 more rounds of these sleeping badgers. So it's like, if anything, this is just facilitating a likeful outcome and allowing it. I love the idea and the visual of the whole shebang. So yes, you can, and only the ones on the ground, the level that you're on right now. So these last 2 that are up there would still be outside of it. So the 2 up top.
Only 6 of them?
That's it. Only 6. And you can throw them all the way over there, no problem.
I feel like I wasted my inspiration point scooping up 6 badgers with my hands while fucking Dickens hangs onto my feet as Gary is like anchoring and swinging and like soft taffying this Humpty super dumpy mole and scooping up badgers and throwing them into a pile of no one wants to deal with it. I can't imagine how much fun that would be. I feel like I wasted my inspiration though. I gotta be honest.
Definitely. I mean, that wasn't super cool at all, and I don't get it now. It describes something super freaking dope. So, Digby, you kind of you send out again. You've got this. The one thing that does connect you guys, where that team attack fire will start burning in the embers of around level 5, is this connection that you've all had through the boons you've received from this Ruby Maiden. And so there's this kind of like these like snapping of synapses in your mind. And in a brief moment, you can just kind of like, you get it. And you know, exactly as described, you know, the stout, sturdy body of Gary, you plant your shield into the ground and latch your arm into it. You know, as Digby, you kind of take your scoop arm and your dig shield and you guys start spinning around. And the elasticity of Dickens, you know, as you also, Digby, in this moment, experience that strange cartoon elasticity effect, almost like stepping into the world of cartoons. As you go around and scoop up 6 goblins, or 6 badgers, I'm sorry. And Arco was like, no! 6 badgers, and toss them into this churning pile of moving earth, constrictor snake, moonbeam fire, and sparkle dust. You see you throw the badgers, kind of intending to maybe feed them to the snake, and as they are subjected to the burning light of the moonbeam, they just singe away. Their skeletons fall and provide an optimal snack for any snacking constrictors nearby. But the badgers all die on impact. You know, almost, you didn't quite expect that outcome. Perhaps the snake would sit there and eat all of them. But no, they all are singed to death by the burning twilight magic of Dickens' moonbeam as you guys launch these 6 badgers. 7 badgers. Sorry, there was one that was... It's 6, but there was one over there that didn't get counted. And yes,
we have more time to do research and development before field testing any of my theories. I apologize for the deaths, the searing, painful, almost immediate though deaths of all of those badgers
quickly
who were asleep, mind you, but probably had
they woke up for a
very ill will amongst some of the dream. I'm a terrible person.
No. Would you rather get burnt up in a millisecond or get digested by a snake? Worked out.
That's a very poignant fact there. Green heart.
Wouldn't you put it like that? I suppose I can't help but smile.
Aww. So yeah,
thanks, Dickens.
Digby, you've got the move too. Did you want to get up on that plane as well? Is that correct?
Of course I do.
Boom. All right, sweet. You still have your cannon bonus action. Arco he can get that far. If you wanted the cannon to jump up on the ledge, it could, but Arco's movement is out this turn. But you still have the cannon that you could shoot it. You know, he could have moved. He could have shot any time along his travel path too. So you could target either badger or the constrictor snake pile at the bottom of the room.
You know what? I'm gonna let sleeping, slithering, writhing, badger figuring outing snakes deal with what they deal with.
Yeah, a lot of horrible
on
sounds.
that side of the cave.
Yeah, nightmare sounds.
Let that be what it is. That's over there. We can deal with that when that has to be an our time thing.
Yeah.
That's a their time thing. It's their time. Their time.
All right. You got anything else, DB? That's such a dope turn.
I guess while I've got the cannon, there's no possible way that I could flamethrower both of those.
No, because it's the Force Ballista. That's the one that it is right now. It doesn't change.
Oh, because I had to prep it. Right.
That's right.
So I'll just take care of the one that's on my backside.
Sweet. You get advantage on it. So you attack 1d10 plus 5, or 20 plus 5 with advantage. So just roll 2d20. You could just absolutely obliterate this. The 17 AC is more than enough. 2d, it only has 1 hit point, so you see the force ball just splats. Like, for someone who was really not trying to slaughter a bunch of things, you just massacred like 7 badgers.
No. New and best friends. What you see, what I'm trying to stress here is that I'm taking the stress and the decision making out of the stressful situation. I'm not murdering anyone. I'm just like, oh, this seems like I don't want to deal with it. And like, oh,
and you step to the right and you crack the skull of one of them on the ground.
They happen to be dead now.
You're just
If I
strangling
were
one.
to go poof, and they, were just like, oh, let's play video games over here. Like, everyone would be fine. I'm just saying, it's not murder. The intent was not murder,
True.
right?
True. And these are badgers. They are beasts.
The movie members.
Genocide in my nose.
When last we left the healthy committee,
Someone else is protecting about this.
I helped them serve a better purpose.
Okay. I'm sorry, but Badger Genocide is going to be the name of the episode on YouTube.
I think. Listen, as long as you eat them, it is not murder. It is hunting.
You're just
Right.
feeding a snake. Hey, man.
Wait, are they eatable? Didn't they like dissolve?
Anything is eatable if you try hard and believe in yourself.
Touche. Touche.
Oh, that's a language.
But it's not a
I-
place. It's
I
not
don't
a
know
place.
what language that is
France
because there's not a
isn't
place.
real.
There's not a country that speaks that language. But
All right, Digby, you blew up a badger and massacred. They probably have badger families and their little kids are going to miss them. But you did great. You did a great job.
that sounds extreme, but we'll work it out in the politics later on.
I'll send you some panda facts.
Let's just move forward
Yes.
for now.
All right. So the
Crisis averted.
crisis averted, baby. All right. So it is the badger's turn because there's just the one now. And guess what? He has 5 more rounds of being asleep. Oh,
All
please
his
leave.
friends are dead.
All my friends are dead. All right, take me to the edge. What's that song?
We're not completely sure if they're dead or not. That's an over there problem. We decided on it. It's part of the constitution of over there problems.
All right, so you see the badger just continues sawing some logs and doesn't do much. Now, Tank Badgerly, on the other hand, is down in his little hole, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you now, sucker!" And he starts walking over, and he just bonks himself into the corner here. Bonk! Ah! What the? Ha! Hit! Ha! And he starts punching the wall. There's little puffs of sand. As he's still completely blind and unaware of Amaryllis just dangling 5 feet away and Pickles on the other side of the room. He's like, gosh, I would freaking... And now he gets to make his saving throw. It is at the end of his turn, however, so he could still be blind. Abby, could you tell me? It's a constitution save, is that correct?
I believe. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, Constitution.
Okay, he rolled a 2. A 2! So no matter what it wasn't going to be good. He is still stricken with blindness. You stupid. Oh, man, so mad. But yeah, so Tank is blind. He attempted to attack a space thinking a creature was there, but it was not. And just manages to punch himself into the wall there, unaware that nearly a dozen of his friends have been fed to the demise of Digby Moleeggington III. Fitting revenge, if you ask this DM. Amaryllis VonCheux, it is your turn. You kind of you're dangling there, again, kind of instilled with this chaos, wild magic that's kind of spurned you. Your eyes flicker a little bit as you look down. You see Pickles moving and not making a single sound. The foot of her little pads doesn't make any sound on the soft earth. Does a little roll. The tambourine never shakes. It's like so proficient in movement as Pickles on Wii. But you both kind of linger there as this blind animal guy, not animal, he's badger-born, he's humanoid, as this guy just kind of swings at the darkness and attacks a wall. But you see sitting there your precious, the god seed, unharmed, but laying on the ground here underneath this hole in this strange tunnel. You smell the sweet smell of these delicacies, the sharp cut of truffle in the air just fills you up. But that's what you see. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm hanging from the ledge. I see Tank. I cast prestidigitation on the area to further confound Tank, and I want to create like a windstorm, like in the area to just doesn't know. He's all discombobulated and mobulated, you know?
I like it. Using it to kind of
Yeah.
add to his, he's blind. He's going to be at least for another 6 seconds or so. You watched as your magic continued to linger on him, and you're just kind of trying to throw him off, give him disadvantage on any, of his, the smelling perception. Do you have to let him? Do you have to? You have to let him. Oh gosh, I love that song. All right, so that works. That is your action. You cast this prestidigitation. You've disoriented him even more. He's like, "What is this? What's strange wind is this? Oh, I can smell you in the air. What is it? Is that a fart? Is that a fart smell? Did somebody make a fart smell over here?" And he's like super bad, but he is discombobulated.
Tickles away.
Cigarette smoke.
Oh my god. So I disorient him, and then I want to make towards the egg because this is priority number 1. I want to see, can I actually make it to the egg and start rolling it?
Yeah, you can. Now if you approach the egg, you may recall that the egg and you do share a bond. So if you go to push the egg, you notice when you touch it, it does this similarly. It begins to levitate. And it's kind of follows you around.
I want to approach it with reverence. I don't want to just go up and touch it. I want to like Pickles did earlier. I want to offer it a hug.
Yeah, right. You kind of walk up, the egg is somewhat dormant, but you feel that strange care and compassion within, connecting to this life force that you feel, linked through something stronger than just your corporeal form. Like the roots of your wild magic now connect you and this creature through magic in some way. And so you look again, there's this almost maternal instinct that covers, washes over you when you look at it. And as you wrap your arms around it, you feel the warm glow of the light within, the fire, the small fire dragon you've seen in the dormant shadows of this egg. And as you hug it, you feel it start burning bright. Tank's like, "What the heck? It's hot in here. What's going on?" And you just start hugging it, and as you do it, it kind of lifts you up, and you realize for a moment your feet are dangling just inches above the ground. And as you're hugging it, you're levitating with it.
Do I feel like it's stable enough for me to hold on?
Yes, yeah. You're kind of wrapped. It's like this warm embrace, a mother and her child. This firm connection in the moment, and you feel like your twin fires are somewhat connecting in this moment, and that you're both very happy to be back with each other again. And so there's this kind of swirling. You feel now that your feet are hanging, that the egg itself starts turning. The burning fire within starts emanating once more, and you start to see the life return to the god seed itself. And you kind of just, you kind of feel like you could maybe even direct this movement.
Okay,
you're floating.
It feels like coming home. I feel so connected, and I want to, if I can, lead the god seed to the warmer parts of the caverns ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. So you feel the emanating warmth. This egg is somewhat resonates with heat, and you remember the being inside mentioning the fires and stuff. So heat is connected just like any egg. There's a warmth, and so you take it even further down into this area. As you kind of Pickles, you're looking, and you see Amaryllis floating on this egg, and suddenly the egg starts just floating down this little service tunnel, going a little deeper and underground.
But I think that's it. That's all. That's my turn.
All right, we go back to Dickens. It gets this: the giant constrictor snake is still in the moonbeam and subject to the damage. So go ahead and it's going to make its saving throw again. But roll a 3. Man, my saves have sucked. It takes 11 damage, and that puts it. It is definitely bleeding now. And you see kind of the crushing earth and everything. It's like all this writhing around in the stone has gotten to its body, and you see it's starting to be so damaged that its instinct is to flee. It starts wrapping itself up the earth of the side wall of this tunnel, and you see it going toward the opening at the top. The giant constrictor snake kind of climbs up the wall as if to retreat. And for a moment, you hear the stunted shouts of a crowd of people as this giant constrictor snake starts climbing up from the earth. And that's where we're going to pick it up next time, guys. So yeah, holy crap, that was,
Oh,
guys, that
I'm
was,
just happy to not be dead.
you guys, that was such a
I
cool
mean-
fucking fight. You guys are so dope. I love you guys.
No one
Fuck.
died.
No one died. Somebody
Died.
almost died. So as a DM, I feel okay about it. It's like,
No
hey.
one wasn't the badger died.
No one
Yeah.
died.
And you know, some of your,
Lots of badges.
you guys didn't just burn all your dope stuff either. Like you guys still have some powers left, which is good because there's a long day ahead of you. But yes, no, man, I fucking, you guys are, that was such a treat. So yeah, man, hell of a fight here. And some, obviously the snake is headed towards some people up top. So that's not fun. Amaryllis goes one way. The giant constrictor snake approaches a crowd above. But that's why we play D&D, and that's what cliffhangers are all about. So please join us next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific when we get down on the sweet, sweet Weed&d. Thank you so much to all you fucking incredible buds for all your support, everything that you do. This project just means so much to me, and the messages and stuff that I get from you guys, it's such a blessing, man. Thank you for committing to this thing and making it good and just being good people all the time. Just like my 5 favorite human beings in the world, amazing Sean and Stephanie running the studio, and just Vlad and Sandy and everybody that works in this project. From the bottom of my warm, glowing, radiating heart, I fucking love you guys. We do have us a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you haven't. We like to take a lighter, like this electric green one here. Make sure we're not gonna light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Light us up. Oh, so light us up. I'm on fire. Thanks for playing D&D with us, buds. I apologize, we will be posting pictures of Drew's piece. Get in the Discord, get in somewhere, try to fucking name this bad boy. We will be posting images of it. And just
of my smoke, my pipe.
This,
not of
yes.
my.
oh, that's right. Yes.
Let's be real clear
Yeah.
about that.
I saved those pictures for myself.
Also, Dabby Andy, spread the word.
Spread
the
it.
word.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.